All right, it looks like we are live. Tonight, there's not going to be any introduction music. I've been just messing with the audio. I was going to start this stream like 3 hours ago. That didn't happen tonight because, well, I was fixing the lighting. I was doing everything, trying to figure out computer settings. There's something funky going on with the audio. So if you're in the audience listening, please let me know. Five, I am killing your eardrums. One, it's just right, and two, it is too quiet. It's working good. Hi there, Aaron James. All right, so tonight we're going to be. So I used to do every single Tuesday night, protect the children with Shepherd's Watch Foundation, 1.5. So kind of quiet side. Is that what you're saying? So it's kind of quiet. Okay, I'm going to turn it up just a little bit right here. Does that improve it just a little bit right there? Hopefully it does. So anyway, because of YouTube and all of their censorship, I haven't streamed these episodes to YouTube. So what I am doing now is pre-doing the spaces on X Live, and then afterwards, depending on the topic and what we talk about, then I can play this stream out loud. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna play an X space. We have Brandy with Shepherd's Watch Foundation. We have Project Milk Carton. We have Jamie, Tinfoil, Caroline, Spartan, Matt Youngblood, and several other people. Allie Hopper, who does a lot of anti-trafficking advocacy. So this is their field. This is their expertise. So anyway, welcome guys, and I hope you enjoy this. I will be able to add commentary as we go along. So if you have questions, please drop them down in the chat box. I will be watching all the chats on all of the various different screens. If you guys would do me a favor and give me a thumbs up and share out this space, leave comments, on Rumble, on YouTube, and on X. This is the first time in forever that I've streamed to all three platforms. So let's go ahead and pull this up. Let's see. Oh, I guess I already have it. All right. And I've got it all queued up. Hi, Mr. Anderson. How are you doing? So I don't know if you were able to make it to the space that we did earlier. Is our protected children spaces on Tuesday nights, and it's getting people involved. So we're going to have Project Milk Carton has come up with this amazing website where he has taken all the data from all these different law enforcement laws and whatnot, and he has put them all into one website. So you can click on, like, say San Diego. You can click on San Diego. You can see, you know, the crime rates for children this age to this age. You can go and see what laws are passed or which laws are not being followed so that we can start doing advocacy in our own cities to make sure that we're holding police officers, we're holding politicians, we're holding people accountable. So I'm going to let him explain how it all works because I do a much better job than I. And if we get time at the end of this, I will go through their website to kind of give you a feel for it. You can even go as far, guys, if there's a missing child in your area, you can go and you can print out a flyer, just like they did with milk cartons back in the day, hence the name Project Milk Carton. They started doing this after the Lahaina fires, when the kids started going missing and all that stuff with the Biden administration. So they put a ton of work into this website. They've done it. There's no backing. They've done this just because they care about the kids and they thought, I wonder if we can make this work. So they've been working for 2 years. Finally, it's going to launch in January 31st, I believe, in Austin, Texas, with the Rhino Removal Project is where they're going to unveil this. It's going to be great technology. No one else has this. They're taking everything from, gosh, what is it? I'll you know what? I'm gonna let them explain it to you because they're gonna do a much better job than I. So when I play the space, guys, let me know if you can hear it. Like I said, I haven't streamed a lot because I got a new microphone, new everything, and it's just been a pain. And I think I finally have it figured out. So we're gonna go ahead and get started with this.
Hello, hello. Excited to be here and back and fired up and ready to go. Thank you, everybody, for coming in. If you could, please repost the room, quote post it, and let's get a few more folks in here, and let's see how we can move forward on this problem and fight it, battle it, and rid ourselves of it. All right, let's go. Mr. Jeremiah, your turn, sir.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Sorry, you caught me texting. How's everybody doing today? Glad to see some friendly faces, some not so friendly faces, and some new faces. Just kidding. You guys all got friendly faces. Kyle, Sue, especially you. Love the hair. Let's go. I'm in a mood. Let's roll.
Oh, this would be a lit space then.
So I did skip the music
All
part
right.
of this.
So let's get this party started. Yeah, I went ahead and I did post the rules there. Again, please familiarize yourself with them if you're new to the space. And if you are new to the space, please give us a little bit to vet the profile. You will see in the rules that typically vetted profiles get up here. If we do not know you, we need a couple minutes to check your profile out. One of the biggest things ever too is that part that says if you have a locked account. Actually don't see any right now, but I'm saying it for the recording as well. If you have a locked account, you're not going to get up here if someone doesn't know you. So just be aware of that. It's not that we're being rude. We just protect the space and the speakers that come up. So thank you again. I want to say hello to Miss Sally. She always airs our space in Rumble. You'll see down there it's aired on multiple platforms as well. And that in the
Uh-oh, we lost audio. This has been my issue before with streaming, and here is the audio issue. So let me see if I can refresh the page. Let's see if we can't fix it. This is a web browser thing, which is just, it's kind of new. So we're going to be at 7 minutes and 50 seconds. But as you guys know, that Spaces has been completely glitchy. If for some reason this does this the entire time, what I'm going to do is I'll just play chess for a little bit and chill out. Because I could always just play chess. And we're gonna go to recording. Let's see, 7 minutes.
Said that he might be there, so we'll see.
All right.
She
here we go.
always airs our space in Rumble. You'll see down there it's aired on multiple platforms as well, and that in the guidelines. So please make sure you're following those rules. How are you doing today, Miss Sally?
I am doing well. Very, very good. Hope everyone's having a great day. Excited for our space tonight, getting involved in the community. That's always a great topic to have.
Absolutely. And I want to say hello to Miss G. I had went into Punch Bowl this morning, and I was going in because we were wanting to really get people in here and start letting them know what they can do, right, to help protect the kids. Because, we get 30 or 40 people in here and they've got 200 in there. So I'm like, I got to go in there and tell them about the space. And the time God had me walk in was perfect because they were talking about, and of course I didn't walk in, I was in a space, but you get my drift. When I get to the space, they're talking about how parents, typically two parent families both have to go to work to be able to afford what the family needs. And it was the perfect time to remind people that, when you are having to do that, your kids are at home. And so this is the perfect opportunity for you to come in tonight, get information about what you can do, not just by protecting devices, because a lot of us talk about that, but that's one aspect of protecting your children. There's so much more. So I was really excited that they let me go up and share. So thank you, Miss G, for that. And Margot, they're always awesome. Awesome co-host. And Punch Bowl Bishop, he's cool. Love that guy.
There we go again. There's our glitch. Hopefully this is going to happen the whole entire time, but we're going to figure this out. Welcome, Ace. How are you doing tonight? Guys, thanks for being here. I really do appreciate you. I'm hoping to do these on a regular scheduled basis, not so late, but I was determined to make sure that this happened tonight because this is Tuesday to always dedicate to the children. and making sure, it's the one thing that I do. And I don't know what the deal is with X Spaces and the replay, but it's done this with me for a while and it's kind of frustrating. So we're going to go up
To
to
grab tickets.
8.
Y'all have no idea.
What
Alright.
the time God had me walk in was perfect because they were talking about, and of course I didn't walk in, I was in a space, but you get my drift.
So I'm going to push pause real quick, Aaron. So tonight before I even started doing the live stream, I went through and I disabled Microsoft Edge because it was connecting things through there. So I'm running everything through Brave, which uses less CPU. So I'm hoping that that's going to solve a lot of the problems. And I deleted a bunch of things that they installed last time they did an update because, they install things all the time.
When I get to the space, they're talking about how parents, typically 2-parent families both have to go to work to be able to afford what the family needs. And it was the perfect time to remind people that, when you are having to do that, your kids are at home. And so this is the perfect opportunity for you to come in tonight, get information about what you can do, not just by protecting devices, because a lot of us talk about that, but that's one aspect of protecting your children. There's so much more. So I was really excited that they let me go up and share. So thank you, Miss G, for that. And Margot, they're always awesome. Awesome co-host. And Punch Bowl Bishop, he's cool. Love that guy. But yeah, so I just want to say thank you to them too. So we're going to get started. Excited to share one thing. Can we share our news yet? Project Milk Carton and or do we have to wait?
Nope, we can share away.
I'm so excited, y'all. I'm so excited. Yes,
me
this is
know,
recorded
Aaron.
space. I'm sharing
Does my audio
surface
cut
level
out when I'm
information.
talking while they're
But
talking?
I'm just so stoked that myself personally, when I came on these, this platform, Shepherd's Watch wasn't being shared on the platform yet. And I was going around and checking out the spaces. And Jeremiah Bullfrog, if you've heard me say, is one of the first guys that I ran across who was truly on a mission to protect the kids. And nope, not going to cry. Going to keep talking. And 4 years later.
Welcome, Tim Kirk. How are you doing? I have missed you so much. So Aaron, was it only 50% when when I was playing the audio from the space, or is it 50% less altogether? I sent you a message, Tim, and I was wondering how you're doing because I haven't seen you around at all. So when I'm speaking at the same time as them or just now? Okay, so I was lower while the speaker was talking. So they were lowering. That's got to be a ducking thing. So there's got to be a setting on my soundboard for ducking. Okay, so I'll just pause. Not a big deal. I just was curious.
I'm going to be
I'll
able to
make fun
meet
of you.
these guys. What?
Said I'll make fun of you.
I'm not going to cry, I promise. I get to meet these guys. They'll be coming to Austin soon, so I'm stoked about that. Want to thank Caroline for making that happen. And yeah, Shepherd's Watch and Project Milk Carton will be presenting for the first time ever together, and that's like so overdue. I can't even explain it. I can't.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm trying
crap.
this.
I'm
What
just
does
joking.
that do to an Aaron?
I'll be the short dude.
She's leaving out the best part because being that Brandy is around that area, she's most generously opened her doors to us. So we get to harass and leave cups out on the sink and
Can you
clothes
hear
in the
me right
corner
now,
and
or does it
maybe
is it
wet the
same?
bed. You
Am
never
I
know.
still lower than the?
Well, you better bring your bubble
X
wrap because I
space?
already told you I'm taking you at the knees when I see you. How doing the Tanya Harding.
I'm really excited about this. Y'all have no idea.
So Caroline,
Oh,
since you're up here, do you want to tell them what we're talking about? Maybe promote what's going on, give a little
yeah.
insight?
Please do.
Okay. Yes. So I'm the state chapter lead for the rhino removal project, and we're holding our first ever rhino roundup in Austin, Texas.
Okay, so a lot of what they're doing. Hi, Alex. Right now, so this whole entire space, the whole entire thing is how we can get involved in the community. So Carolina is in Austin, Texas. They're going to have the rhino removal project. Oh, does it reset again? Oh my goodness. This is going to be a challenge, but we're going to get through this. I'm just going to refresh and keep track of where we left off. But rhino removal project is a boots on the ground trying to make sure that they're getting rhinos out of office. They're not backing any candidates, but they're giving them the resources that they need to get these people out of office. That's kind of the basis behind it. So we're going to have Project Milk Carton. We're going to have Allie Hopper, and we're going to have other people give ideas of how you can get involved with anti-trafficking at the local level. All right, let's try this again. X Spaces really needs to fix this.
With people and
So basically what he's saying is if any of you guys have visited our
so I just want to say thank you to them too. So we're going to get started. Excited to share one thing. Can we share our news yet? Project Milk Carton and or do we have to wait?
Nope, we can share away.
I'm so excited, y'all. I'm so excited. Yes, this is a recorded space. I'm sharing surface level information, but I'm just so stoked that myself personally, when I came on this platform, Shepherd's Watch, gonna cry, gonna keep talking soon. So I'm stoked about that. Want to thank Caroline for making that happen. And yeah, Shepherd's Watch and Project Milk Carton will be presenting for the first time ever together. And that's like so overdue. I can't even
Thank you, Alex.
explain it. I can't.
She's most generously opened her doors to us. So
Doing the Tanya Harding.
I'm really excited about this. Y'all have no idea.
So Caroline, since you're up here, do you want to tell them what we're talking about? Maybe promote what's going on? Give a little
Yeah.
insight?
Please do.
Okay. Yes. So I'm the state chapter lead for the rhino removal project, and we're holding our first ever rhino roundup in Austin, Texas. But it's really more of an rhino removal project is an educational group that are educating people on all of the hot topics that people need to understand, how basically politics have been working against the people, and that includes big time trafficking. And so they are the leaders of the project are so excited to have such caliber of people representing the issue of human trafficking. And so everyone's really excited to have y'all. And when I thought, hey, this is the perfect time to get Project Milk Carton and Shepherd's Watch together, and when I presented it and y'all, jumped, I was just really, this has been a great day for me. I've been excited all day. But the event is in Austin at the VFW 8787 in North Austin. And it's on January 31st. And I don't think we've got our speaking schedule all ironed out just yet, but we'll have that ironed out so everyone will know what time y'all will be on. And you'll also have a vendor table where people can come and talk to you all throughout the entire program. And then if you are coming to the event and you want to have a group rate, the group rate is going to be through the Embassy Suites in Central Austin, 8 minutes from the location. And I can share a group coupon code in the purple pill. So, but yeah, very excited. So.
Well, we want to
So
thank you. Go ahead, Jeremiah.
No, sorry, Brady, I didn't mean to to interject there, but I just want to say this is you know, based on the topic, this is exactly what we're talking about, right? Bringing everything together, getting involved, and then educating as many people as possible. So we're honored to be invited, and it extremely means a lot because what this is going to do now.
So I guess I kind of missed this part earlier. So Shepherd's Watch Foundation, they're going to be joining Rhino Removal Project in Austin, Texas. Shepherd's Watch Foundation is based out of Texas. They're actually boots on the ground, educating the community, and they actually, how do I say? Sorry, I'm on YouTube, so I'm choosing my words carefully here for just a I'm not used to having to censor myself. So they have a technology that's like nothing else. No law enforcement has it. And they aid and assist law enforcement upon their request to help locate missing, whether it be runaways or whether it be other individuals. Let's put it that way. So they're going to be going in Austin, Texas, joining Rhino Removal Project. Brandy's going to be there. She's going to be speaking. Project Milk Carton is going to be unveiling their new website where it's going to be so amazing, guys. So amazing.
This means a lot to us because, we've been researching and working together as a group with Project Milk Carton for the last 5 years. We've never met in person. So this is going to bring us all together in person. So it's really going to be a special time. And what better time to do that than to get in front of, a group of people and educate and to do what we say, reach one, teach one.
Amen.
Absolutely. And so if he didn't hear it, Daryl, you better get your ticket now because I know you're going to want to be there.
Yep, that's right. I'll share a link.
There we go again. 1459. Oh. All right. Hi, Patriot Steve. Hope you're doing well. I think I already said hi. So this is the key is going to be, I was actually looking up to see why my sound was decreasing while it was playing. And I think I paid attention. 1459.
In the purple pill.
Thank you very much for that. And
You're
if you
welcome.
would, while you're up here, could you possibly give us just, and not everybody.
What in the heck? Let's see if we can just go backwards. Nope. Maybe what I'll do in the future is record it to where I'm not having to play from them. That's what I'll do. No, they're all separate organizations. So Project Milk Carton is its own entity. And then we have Shepherd's Watch Foundation. They are a 501c3. They do not take any, at this moment, they don't take any government grants because they don't want to do anything that
Ready. I just have to put it.
They don't want to take any money that would make them beholden to the government. So if you go to the Shepherd's Watch Foundation, I think it's .org. I'll find the website for you. But if you go there, if you donate any money to their organization, they tell you exactly what the money goes for. So if they have different projects that they have going on, you can specify where you want your money to go, and they're going to guarantee you that your money goes there. They all work on volunteer. So this is all volunteer work. There are some people who get paid, like say advertisement or web design, various stuff like that. They do get paid, but I don't know how much or whatnot. But their organization is based off of volunteers. They educate you on anti-trafficking, what to look for and whatnot, so that you can go to your community, your law enforcement, your schools, your city council, senators, whatever, and make sure that things are getting done the way they're supposed to be getting done. But their Shepherd's Watch actually goes out and they assist law enforcement in locating people, whether it be it could be runaways, it could be kidnappings, it could be whatever. But that's what their main goal is. They do. Yeah, the word I can't say. There's words I can't say. But yeah, so they're all separate in here. We come every Tuesday night. We go into an X space and we all collaborate and bring various ideas to the table to see what can we do. And all my streams are. This is only my Tuesday night streams are about this. I try to reserve Tuesdays for this movement because it's too much. So I'm going to be getting back to all of my other streams, which I don't know, Aaron, if you've seen any of my other stuff. I haven't done very much on YouTube. And I feel like I'm rambling, but that's good. Usually I'm like, don't talk. Let's try this again.
And find out what.
Right, go ahead, Matt. How are you tonight, sir?
Doing just fine, Brandy. It's always good to be with y'all, and it's always good to be.
Oh my gosh, why is it doing this? Let's see. I wonder, let me try. I'm going to close some windows down on my Chrome. We're going to try it one more time. If this isn't going to work, I'm probably just going to open up a chess game and chillax and play chess for a minute. And then I'll pre-record this and redo it. Darn it. It's the audio going out. And it's completely an X thing. Am I reserved on Simcast? I don't think that I'm reserved on Simcast. I think when I'm around people that I know, like you kind of get the dynamic and you learn to know when you can interject. You kind of know when to cut in and whatnot. And I think that's my issue.
So as I always say,
just learning the different.
It'd be cool if
personalities of the
Allie could get
girls.
to Texas then too, and you could actually meet Allie as well. Holy cow, that'd be awesome.
All right,
Awesome.
so I just closed
Okay,
some windows.
Zach, how are you tonight, sir? Go right ahead.
Doing okay. Doing great tonight. Just sitting and trying to stay out of this cold weather we're having in Tennessee. And if any else members wanted to join, what they will do.
I tell you what, it is cold, cold, cold here. It is crazy. I don't know as far as like joining. Are you talking about Rhino the event that we're speaking on, Zach?
Like the event or anything.
Gotcha. So Caroline put a link down below for the tickets to that event. So it's on the Rhino Removal Project's website. And they actually, if you go up there and click, you can see all the events they have scheduled actually. And Austin is that first one on their event schedule. I had looked at it earlier and it's right at the top. I'm super excited about that. Allie.
Oh.
Allie. I got to say, I feel like a kid in a candy store. I finally get to meet Jeremiah and Sparty. Okay. I'll be quiet now.
it's actually funny it's actually funny you said that because I threw her a mic to kind of publicly pressure her to maybe come to the event.
You know,
I mean, it's hard. You can't say no to my face, right?
You know, she is due for another ride along. Just saying.
Oh my god.
Any excuse to come to Texas and see you guys, of course.
Yes.
When is it? What am I
love Scarlett.
committing
I
to? I
think
know
I
it's
found
the
the
event, but
word.
I don't know the date.
January 31st. Let me remove Jamie and bring her back up. She's stuck. January 31st is the Austin Rhino Removal Project America First Rally, is what they're calling it. And Shepherd's Watch and Project Milk Carton will be there to present. And there'll be Doc Chambers, and I bet there's going to be a handful of people there that you probably know off of X as well. Steve Loves Ammo. I want to say that I saw Auntie Kami on there. Caroline's the chapter head for the state, or the state head, state lead. So yeah. So if you can get to Texas, we could all get together for the first time. You've never met them. All right, let me get Jamie back up here. So anyway, I know guys, we're sitting here talking, but we're gonna keep moving forward. We just had to share that. And definitely if you're in or around Texas, check that out. Find out if they're coming to your state. I know that there's a couple other states. I know they have Tennessee that's already scheduled. I did see that as well. Maybe they'll come to Florida, Allie. I'm not sure what that looks like. That's definitely something that y'all should check into as well. Hey, let me do a mic check for Jamie. Can you hear me, Jamie?
Yes. Wow. That was interesting. I've never flown out of a room that way. I was out of the room, but yet I could hear all of you, but I was not in the room. That was odd after all these years. Okay. Yeah, I don't know where we're at in the conversation, but I'm thinking about taking the long drive there. So this is awfully exciting. Awesome.
I sure hope you do.
Right.
Well, I'll tell you what, Brady, you'll be hearing my voice in your sleep tonight, so don't sweat it. Yeah, I hope you do. That's going to be awesome because this is what we're talking about. This is 100% what needs to happen. More people, taking it all offline. I forget the phrase Brady used to use.
The backside.
No, I was talking about get off your ex
Oh,
and
Lisa
get
says get off your
local.
ex. Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
yes, yeah, that's it. Get off your ex and get involved.
Yes. And that's the first way to do it is to find events that are around you, to connect with people and get educated. No doubt. And I'm excited to know, that we will be getting educated. All of the different speakers have their own niche, as we call it, right? Their own lane. And they'll be able to share things with us to educate us on what they know to be true in what they do. So I'm extremely excited about that. And just to know that we're going to be able to educate people that have never heard about any of us before, educate them on what is happening in Texas. They're going to get to hear raw PMC missing kids stuff too they've never heard before. So this is awesome. Really excited about that. So please check into, there's one of your first calls to action, is go to that Rhino Removal Project's website and see what the closest one is to you and try to get there. The tickets looked very reasonable, especially if it's going to be, spread out for a couple months down the road. I definitely think that it is a must that you check into it. Go ahead, Miss Sally.
I was going to say, if you guys go to the Rhino Removal Project website, you can also volunteer to sign up for various stuff in your state. So it's all about local action and how you can get involved at the local level. Steve Loves Ammo and Anti-Commie are like ones that work really hard with that program. And that's actually Brandy, who I sent a message to about concerning what we were talking about the other day. That's the Steve I was talking about. So anyway, yeah, it's a great organization. It's all grassroots. It's all about getting rhinos out of office and getting people who are America first, who care about us. We, the people, want to represent us. So definitely get involved. Go figure out how in your state, your local area, you can volunteer.
Thank you for that so very much. It is so important that we do get involved, guys. And this is where it starts, is in your community. I'm going to go ahead and grab a couple posts. PMC, do you have something that you want to start off with tonight?
Yeah, so in the lane of PMC, what we look at and focus on, right? The missing kids, the cause and effect, the problems in those areas, and so on. This is what we've been saying we've been wanting to do for a while, is go to an area like Travis County, get in front of those leaders, those running for office, and the community, and show what's going on, right? The foster care funding, the statistics of how many kids are going missing, the current kids that are missing, the ones that have been missing for a while, what we see as a problem and what the solution is, right? So it's this couldn't have come at a better time, and it's exactly what we need to happen. Because listen, these politicians, they need to know that the American people and their their district or awake to the problem. I'm writing about this a lot on our Substack that, you know, it's a systematic problem, and it's one that um, has been in place for a while, and it's what I call a loop, right? It's a flow of money that just circles, and they, you know, these NGOs, the CPS contracts out to NGOs, and these NGOs are not going to report that they're doing bad, right? They're going to report that what makes them look good to keep them in that position to keep that money flowing. And it's an issue that we've ignored for so long that it's put our kids in danger. And this is what we need to do to
There, we made it. We made it 10 minutes on that one. That was pretty good. Yes, Mike, while I'm refreshing this and getting it going again, I am going to start doing watch parties again. I'm going to do it I'm going to set up private watch parties. I'm going to test it out on Rumble, and then from there we'll just see how it goes. All right, let's get this to 30 minutes. I'm sorry. I'm
Right.
just looking up.
so as I
Push
always
pause real quick. I'm just looking up settings on my microphone since I'm listening to this, and I don't have to push pause every 3 seconds, and kind of see what the issue is.
flowing, and it's an issue that we've ignored for so long that it's put our kids in danger. And this is what we need to do to awaken, you know, the public in those communities to say, okay, yeah, we do have a problem. This is an issue. We do have a lot of, you know, CPS, missing kids, drug trafficking, whatever it is. And we need a call to fix that issue. And we need to do this all the way across the country.
Absolutely, we do. 100%. Um, and I have so many questions with what you just said. So let me ask you this, because I want to make sure that we present what people can do in their areas first, as far as if they can do anything for our organizations. And then I'd like to go a little further into what we can share with them to do, like legislation and so forth. So I'm glad Allie's in here tonight, and I hope you can stay for a little bit, Allie. If not, no worries. I know you're busy. But when it comes to Project Milk Carton, I know, y'all were sharing all the things that you're doing, but that I'm sure a lot of the things that y'all are building and doing and so forth is for the, the
All
two
right,
of
I'm
you
gonna
to do. What is there for other people in their communities to do, as far as, is there any volunteering with Project Milk Carton and so forth? What can they take out in their communities to help y'all and to spread your message and help educate their community?
So as I always say, uh, getting involved, first step would be finding the problem. Okay, so go to
Okay,
Project Milk
so I'm
Carton.
talking over him right
There's
now.
a
So can
map.
someone in the
You
audience
know,
let
go to
me
your county
know if this
and
is the
find out
same
what the
sound, lower than the sound coming out?
statistics are of crimes against children. What
Okay, so I'm gonna push pause real quick. So what he is saying right now is you've got to figure out what the problem is, and I intentionally spoke over the top of him, just to kind of test the audio out. So what he is saying is you've got to figure out what the problem is, and this is where he's going to start introducing his new website that's going to be coming out really soon. Gosh, it's 6 weeks away. This is going to be so cool.
what's
Okay, thank
it'll
you,
tell
Aaron.
you, you know, what the age range is, what the crime against the child was, how prevalent it is, you know, numbers, all the data that you need to really see what's going on.
I
And then
wonder,
the
am
areas
I
of
still
focus, you
lower
can
than
go to
him?
the crime heat map, look into that, and, you know, see exactly what areas it is on like pinpointed basically. And then you could go to the missing kids, how many missing kids are coming out of that area. And then now you know the problem, right? Now you know you're weaponized with the information right there on our website to go to your local representative who's in charge of uh, advocating for better, you know, systems and CPS, and find out who's holding them accountable or whatever. That's what you can do to it's kind of what we set up to help you understand what's going on in your place. It's like a one-stop shop a super Walmart, if you will, of all of that data that, let me tell you, when we started looking at this in 2022, was very hard to find, extract, and pull into one place because it's spread out everywhere. What we did was basically pull it into one spot so that you can just go, okay, I live in Travis County, click. Oh man, this is all of the crimes against children, missing kids, and this is the funding flow and how the system is set up, from CPS to this NGO contracting to this and that. Here's the funding amount. If I'm looking at, just throw a number out there, $100,000, $1 billion going into the system, why do I have such a problem with missing kids, right? Now you could take that information and soon be able to download a report and go, hey, Mr. Representative, I see an issue. This is a problem. What's going on? Right. And now you could take that information and hold an event like this on your own and go tell your community, hey, we have a major problem going on here. This is what I've found. This is what's going on, blah, 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 blah. And again, we will come to your area and show it as well. And so forth and so on. So yeah, in a nutshell, that's pretty much Sparty, you got something to add to it?
Yeah, let me elaborate if I could. So what PMC has done on our website is we've created decision chains, right? So that you can understand where decisions are being made, what laws influence those decisions from the agency. Each state is different as it relates to how it administers child protective services, right? So it's either administered by the state or it's administered by the county, or it's a hybrid. County private, could be state county. And that specifically directly affects transparency and how, you want, it helps you determine the type of information you need in order to keep yourself, out of a high risk situation. And then so each state has their own laws, right? And so what we've done is we've taken the laws and the outcome reports, right? How many kids come in, how many exit, all the deaths, all the horrible shit that happens to kids. We have it connected now, where AI, you could say, I'm from Nevada, I'm from whatever state, what is the CPS situation here? And it will tell you verbatim, as per law and outcome, from each state's reporting statistics. So now, like when Jeremiah says, hey, you can go to your local whomever and say, you have a problem right here, and right here. And these are the entities causing these three problems. And these are the outcomes. And it's horrible. Right? So I get a little fired up because it's amazing that this isn't already in place. Like, I should know what the hell's going on in my state. Now, you can find this information, but it's spread out. It took me 8 months to and I'm saying every time I was home from work, I spent looking at this whole system and how we can empower the parent and community to address and identify problems and understand the absolute stakeholders involved. And what I just made today is I put it all together and it works beautifully. You'll be able to have a report on anything. Missing kids, boom. Child crimes, boom. Your state laws, boom. The outcomes from those laws, boom. A comparative analysis from your state to federal law, boom. Instantly. It's all right here now. So when we go there on the 31st, this is what we're going to show everybody. And the amount of power that it gives the individual, especially the single mom with 3 kids working 3 jobs, trying to maintain herself, because she's the one that's in a really high risk situation. We want to educate those people because that's what's going to correct the system. It's the only way it's going to correct the system. Anyways, I'll shut up. Thanks, guys.
If you guys
Anyway,
can't tell,
it's here. It's happening. I'm gonna make a video, but it's ready. I just have to put it online somewhere and debut it.
if you guys can't tell, this is the guy that built it. So he's a little bit more into it, into explaining that. But I will say, I mean, it's a powerful tool. And as soon as Trump put out his EO on the foster care and protecting families, I matched it against what our website does, and
This satisfies it.
It's almost like they seen our website and like, wow, that's a great idea. Let's implement this across all states. It's phenomenal. So we got some hands, so I'll let you go.
Yes,
Brady.
we do. But I'm going to say real quick, and then we'll go to Jamie and get to the hands. One of the things you just said, it should already be out there. So this is exactly why we need everyone involved in their own communities, because the things that you think should already be in place to protect the kids are not. And there's a lot of things we expect would be there, right? There's a lot of taxpayer money that goes into supposed to what we think should be put out there to protect people. What you're doing absolutely is not. And the capabilities and the work that Shepherd's Watch does should already be something that our taxpayer dollars is paying for in every area, but it's not. So that's why we as organizations have to come in and do the work that no one else wants to do. Just like Guard Against Trafficking. Like I've said before, I do not choose to educate prisoners, but that is all up Allie's alley. So we have to do what our niche is, because although we would love for these things to have already been in place and for us to be able to not have to do this daily, we all know this is reality, that we have to. So I'm going to go to Jamie real quick, and then I'm going to roll over real fast to Steven, because I know he's on limited time. And then we're going to roll over to S. Miles and Matt. Go ahead, Miss Jamie.
All right. Yeah. A lot of us do researching in the background. I do a little different type of researching than Jeremiah and Sparty. But there's just a lot that's hard to explain. And one of the elements I like about this is that it shows the average person how many different things are incentivized, and they're not incentivized to be in the best interest of the child. And so this is going to give the public the visuals they need to see that, well, wait a second, this shouldn't be set up this way. It is not in the best interest of the child. And so that's one of the elements that I just love about this. And I am very excited about more and more
Okay,
people waking up to
Aaron,
this
I'm
and
giving this another
seeing
try.
this. All the stuff
Same
we've been looking at for
audio
years,
level,
just
or is it
driving us up
still
a wall. Like,
less?
what are we going to do about this? People don't realize what's happening. I happen to live in a state that's very incentivized in ways that are not helping children. So, yeah, this is just fantastic in that regard. So we're going to go to Stephen first, and then we'll go to S. Miles, and then Matt. Go ahead, Stephen. Welcome.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. We truly have some stars on stage and in the audience, and they know who they are.
Okay, so right now, am I the same
I just want
level?
to say, I heard you guys talking about community involvement. Guys, Miami just flipped from red to blue as mayor. There's one of the lowest turnout elections in a long time.
So it was better? Oh my gosh. Did it again. 42. So was it better then? So maybe while they're going, or am I just quieter right now anyway? I don't know what yes means. At least we're making it about 10 minutes before it does this to us. It's pretty good. So even when I'm talking right now, I'm quieter than the speakers are, is what you're telling me.
scary because just like you
Oh,
said, if he
that's
is fighting
fixable.
impeachment, then
Set up this way. It is things are incentivized in ways that are
Stars on stage and in the audience, and they know who they are. I just want to say, I heard you guys talking about community involvement. Guys, Miami just flipped from red to blue as mayor. It was one of the lowest turnout elections in a long time. Just flipped. Okay, that was a Trump won city, not just the county. That was
Testing.
a Trump won city. And it's been Republican for a while. Okay, we're getting our backsides handed to us in these special elections. And I don't mean to take this too political, but that's my background, so I want to
please
speak on
go
what
for
I
it.
know. On what I know, and then I'll leave the expertise on the rest of it to y'all. Guys, if all you're doing is just talking on this app, you're not taking ownership of what you claim to believe in and translating it to action, then do you actually believe what you claim to believe at this point? You're seeing loss after loss after loss after loss after loss, and it's not phasing you. It's not inspiring you. Are you just empty? Do you really care? Or is this just the chit chat? Because I know there's some people that are warriors in here that are not just here to chit chat. I'm calling on everyone
What's up,
else
Megan
who's
Aussie?
within earshot of this to step up and be a warrior. Okay, you're called to be a light. Okay, that means seen. That doesn't mean hidden. That means seen. You're supposed to be a symbol. You're supposed to represent. Okay? You talk about the funding, you talk about the policies, all this kind of stuff. My God, how is it even humanly possible that tens of thousands of kids have had to be rescued this year alone by the Trump administration? How can you hear numbers like that and not have it knock you off your feet? That actually had to happen. It wasn't a side quest. It was a necessity. And there's more to go. Okay? If we lose the midterms, all Trump's going to have to deal with for 2 straight years is impeachment. And everyone working in his administration being subpoenaed and harassed. Are you okay with that? Are you hearing the words out of this Nebraska boy's mouth okay with that?
Oh, that's not
Then
good.
go ahead and just keep chit-chatting. Otherwise, step up. Join Brandy's group. Join Allie's group. Talk to Sally. Talk to Jamie. Talk to the people on this stage. And do something for my fellow millennials like Shia LaBeouf. How amazing he turned his life to Christ. Famous gif. Just do it. Just do it. Okay?
That sounded really weird.
There's your levity. But for God's sakes, though, I meant every word very seriously. You have got to get involved more than just chit-chatting. It's a moral obligation. No excuses. Thank you.
No, I want to thank you for all you do, Steven. So this Nebraska boy does a lot more than a lot of people I know. And I want to thank you because you're a very young man compared to a lot of us in these groups now that you hang out in, and you inspire me. You put your boots on the ground every single day. You do this for a living, and you embody your work. And I want to thank you for all you do because you truly do inspire me, no doubt. And thank you for sharing that because what just came out of your mouth is because of your experience and what you're doing daily. And knowing that flipped that easy is very scary because just like you said, if he is fighting impeachment, then there's not children being rescued. The numbers are going to go down drastically and they're not near as high as they should be. So thank you for sharing that. Wow. Oh my gosh. So powerful.
People should be worried. I mean, because what he just said is 100% true, and people should be worried because it's going to be Trump 1.0, not Trump 2.0. And I mean, everybody's calling for arrest and action right now. If you really cared about that, you really wanted that, you would get behind him because he needs your support. You can't do it alone. They're fighting him every step he possibly can this entire time. And anybody with eyes to see and ears to hear should be able to acknowledge that right now. So it's the division on this app. It's the keeping people sitting in their seats. Get off your X. Get involved. It's 100% right. Listen. I appreciate the women in this movement because they add a little bit of grace to this. I don't. I'm straight to the point, so I try to sustain on that a little bit. But it's 100% right. It's time to get off your ass and get involved. Full blood. Stop.
And he has special privilege. He gets to say that. All right, S. Miles, how are you tonight? Good to meet you virtually.
Very nice to meet you as well. You doing okay?
Yes, sir.
Cool, guys. I second everything that was just mentioned. I'm right there with it. So I just wanted to jump on and introduce myself to everybody quickly. I work directly with Caroline Powell with Rhino Removal Project. I'm actually the event coordinator for the Austin, Texas event on January 31st. First off, I wanted to just thank Jeremiah for taking my call earlier today. That was very good to get to talk to you, and really, really looking forward. It's so excited, especially to have, a group with, y'all's cause tied to what we're trying to do. Just to be able to merge and meet and greet, and it's a wonderful thing. Like everybody said before, it's like, we can sit on this app, or we can get out there, boots on the ground, and I think this is just one of those ways to do it. Secondly, I just want to mention, I think that what y'all are involved in is probably, there's not too many things out there that are much more honorable than this. So I just want, just like Steven said, Jeremiah said, and I think it's Spartan, is that correct? And I guess that who's done all of the, programming for this. Man, keep at it. This is a beautiful thing. This is what, these are angels on earth right here. This is what life's all about. So to be completely honest with you, before I threw my hat in the ring and I said, look, I want to volunteer. I had my eyes on Rhino Removal for a little while. And I said, look, I don't like I'm very anti-corruption. And of course, what is anti-corruption? What is corruption? It's evil. So I'm anti-evil. And there's not much more evil than this trafficking thing, right? So, I mean, we can't be much more in line with one another as groups, because we're seeking out these people that are here, wolves in sheep's clothing, that are trying to lie their way into office and then ultimately wield power against the people who they're supposed to represent. And I think that's just undoubtedly evil. These people forget that they work for us. Anyway, I just wanted to just throw my voice out there, say hello, introduce myself. I wanted to thank each and every one of you, everybody that's working with me, everybody that's helping move me along. Really hoping for a successful event out in Austin. If anybody can, please, it doesn't take but a moment, but spread the word, get it out there. Let's get excited. Everybody feel free to DM me, ask me any questions. I'm an open book. Very easy to get a hold of. I'm pretty flexible. So anyway, very nice meeting you all, and looking forward to actually meeting you all. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us. Super excited. So we haven't spoke yet. I'm Brandy with Shepherd's Watch, and I'm sure we'll be speaking as well. Super excited to meet everyone. Heard a lot of names.
Right. By the way, I've heard so many wonderful things about Shepherd's Watch, just speaking back and forth with Caroline, and really would love to get more acquainted, because I just think it's, like I say, I'm all about it. So really, really appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me up.
Absolutely.
So, sorry, Brandy. I don't know if you were in here a second ago, but I extended your invite to us to Ali Hopper publicly, so she couldn't tell us no. So hopefully that's okay.
I love it. I love it.
She's a powerhouse working beside us and with us, and she's one of those graceful voices that I appreciate so much, because she puts it out there in a much more delicate way. Listen, when she was testifying in front of the Senate and they were screaming Epstein, Epstein, Epstein instead of talking about the trafficking kids, she handled herself so well, but pushed back in a very only a way that Ms. Alley can, 100%. Because I would have lost my absolute. I'll let you fill in the blanks.
She is a powerhouse, and she definitely knows how to deliver the message so that all ears will hear. That's for sure. No doubt. All right, Matt, go right ahead, sir.
Yeah, thanks for letting me speak again, Brandy. First of all, Caroline, check your DMs. Second, Stephen Bader, I want to second everything you just said because to back up your point, Brandy, if I may, we just saw a Trump plus 22 district in Tennessee. A Republican get elected with plus 10. That's not a welcome sight, but still, as you said, Brandy, if Trump's getting in, or no, sorry, Jeremiah, if Trump's getting impeachment, he's not rescuing kids. They're not doing anything for the kids. So that's yet another reason why people need to get involved. And also, while you guys were talking, I actually went to Project Milk Carton's website and looked at my own state. And thankfully, none of the counties are red around where I am, but up there in Gwinnett County, which is northeast Georgia, and some of the other surrounding counties, it looks pretty bad.
Well, there's your call to action, Matt. Just saying. Get your boots on the ground and start educating those people.
Yeah, but I don't live up there.
Yeah, but you got friends, I'm sure. And Facebook.
Actually, I don't. I probably do from college.
All right. Well, I'm going to help you. We're going to find somebody.
Well, let me look at the state as a whole, and then get involved because your representative in your county. It may not be bad in your county, but your representative in your county represents you. And if you're seeing a problem in your state, that's how you help your state, your other counties, right? You contact him. You say, hey, look, do you know about this? And if you don't, why don't you? And what are you going to do about it? Or you do this about it, right? I want to see this issue instead of bill, do something, right? I want to see this on the floor ASAP. Like this should be a number one topic. So that's one way you can get involved, man. Just because it's not at your front door doesn't mean you can't do anything. If it's in your state, it is in your state. That's how you can get involved. But that's exactly what we're talking about, man. So kudos to you for taking the initiative, going there and looking at that and bringing that to the table right here in the space. That's exactly what getting involved is.
Absolutely. All right, we got a hand. We're going to go over to Zach. And then I'd like to circle
Aaron,
back around to Miss Alley and talk to her a little bit about legislation and some things about that. But I'm going to leave that here for a second. Go ahead, Zach.
That district in Tennessee, I was about 30 miles from that district where that Republican got elected. It's a pretty good guy so far. Ain't got in office yet, but nonetheless. But I pray for you all and love you guys.
Zach, did you do any volunteering for him, or are you involved in your county party?
Yes, I am.
Wonderful.
And yes, I'm going to be that host real quick and say Steven gets a pass because he's a popcorn person, but he's the only pass.
the popcorn thing.
Wow, spoiled rotten. I'll take it. Thank you.
Yeah, and I want to kind of reiterate something, and maybe it was just my viewpoint through the Trump campaign, but I feel that he made it clear the entire time that it was up to us. It was up to we the people, and that we were going to have to get off our behinds, and we were going to have to address everything, and we were going to have to stand up and fight, and that he could not do it all on his own because he would be distracted by malarkey or whatever you want to call it. And so I think that he made that clear through the whole campaign. It's up to us, and we need to take that stick and we need to run with it and go, and we need to make the difference. It is up to us. So I just want to clarify that before we go on to the next point.
Well,
I want to say this. I'm sorry, Bernie. In his 2017 inaugurational speech, he said he's taking back the power from a corrupt system and giving it back to the people, right? That's 100% what he said. We watched what happened in his first administration, and if we want things to happen in this administration, we have to get behind him, right? They can come after him all they want, but if we're out there, you know, calling for change, calling for these actions, showing that this is what we want, we're supporting everything that he's doing, you know, finding the kids, the ICE raids, the removal of the immigrations, so forth and so on. They can't come after him because we are the people, we're their constituents. They can no longer ignore us once we're out there being allowed peacefully and patriotically, obviously, in our areas across this country. They look, it's what they don't want, right? They don't want the sleepers waking up, because once they do, they can no longer hide behind the failed system. So full stop. And then that gives Trump the power. Hey, look, this is what the people want. You can cry all you want about it, but these people elected you. It's either time to, you know, pardon my French, but piss or get off the pot. You know, get involved or get out of the way. It's just, that's how it works. So, yeah.
Yeah, it really does. And that's about where we're all at this point. Guys, the trafficking and ladies, the trafficking numbers are going up. The illicit massage business numbers are going up.
Okay, I'm pushing pause for just a second because that's kind of an important thing that people don't talk about. And I don't know how the audio sounds right now. I did mess with some settings that I'm trying to decide. That just cut out. Hold on. I'm switching this up. That change it? I think that changed it. Let's see. All right, so I'm gonna leave that right there for just a second. So she's saying that the trafficking numbers are going up. The border is closed, so why are the trafficking numbers going up? I don't have an answer to that, and I'm hoping I don't know. Hopefully, we can figure this one out. So we need boots on the ground. So be paying really close attention to this.
There is nothing slowing down. So the reason of this space is because we do need y'all involved in your communities. And we're given a lot of different examples of what you can do. Things that people do in this space here, you can do in your own communities. I'm sure that if Stephen has any suggestions for you, he probably has DMs that are open that you might be able to ask him any questions he does. He does things on the political side. There's so many different areas you can get involved. And I want to go real quick over to Al.
Okay, of course it decided to go out. Okay, so I think I figured it out, maybe by accident. All right, we're just going to refresh again. We're getting closer, guys. Yay. Okay, so that's good. When I push play, Aaron, I'm going to start at 57, so I'll have 1 minute. If you could just give me feedback and let me know.
The sleepers waking up, because once they do, they can no longer
speaking,
hide behind the
even though
failed
you
system.
can't hear both of us
Full
at the
stop.
same
And
time.
then that gives Trump the power. Hey, look, that's what the people want. You can cry all you want about it, but these people elected you. It's either time to, you know, pardon my French, but piss or get off the pot. You know, get involved or get out of the way. It's just, that's how it works. So, yeah.
Yeah, it really does. And that's about where we're all at this point. Guys, the trafficking and ladies, the trafficking numbers are going up. The illicit massage business numbers are going up. There is nothing slowing down. So the reason of this space is because we do need y'all involved in your communities. And we're given a lot of different examples of what you can do. Things that people do in this space here, you can do in your own communities. I'm sure that if Stephen has any suggestions for you, he probably has DMs that are open that you might be able to ask him any questions he does. He does things on the political side. There's so many different areas you can get involved. And I want to go real quick over to Allie. Allie, I know that you paralegal by trade, right? But what can people do? An average person, say no paralegal background, nothing like that whatsoever. If someone like Matt was just sharing that he sees an issue in one area, right? What can someone do for legislation in their state? As far as like, where would they begin? And
I
I know
am
you
not a
can't just go into the
soft-spoken
entire
person,
gamut of it, but
but I
just a
might be
little
talking more quiet
example of
right
where
now.
could someone start to want to try to make changes in their state? Because I know that you did that. And please go ahead and share what you did with legislation so that people do get familiar with who you are. Please.
Oof, that's a massive question, Brandy. And I'm glad you waited a little bit because I was just tucking my kiddos into bed. So
Duh.
perfect
I could
timing
just turn the
now.
volume down. I'm
Really
such a
where
goober.
I kind of
They
got
should be the
my
same right
go at
now.
it was looking at my state's criminal code. And depending on what you want to look at, that's going to navigate in the table of contents. Every state has a criminal code. And so for me, I was looking at the crimes against children. So I started
I'm
looking
such
at
a
the different categories where I think crimes against children would fall under. And I started just looking and reading what the statute said. It's plain language. And that is where I started kind of getting my go, was understanding that there were gaps and loopholes and things that we thought were covered that really weren't. And the main example is the anti-grooming bill. And when you really understand what anti-grooming is, or what grooming is, the sexual grooming of children by adults, then you can start to look at your criminal code and say, wow, there's a lot of gaps here. And law enforcement really can't step in until there's a certain amount of harm done to the child. And so that's where we identified a gap. But there's so many different gaps across the country. And Brandy will tell you, even just by Shepherd's Watch, their attempts to pass legislation. I think, Brandy, you said some of them actually, they adopted some of your language, which is a win.
What's up,
At the end of the day,
Julie?
it doesn't
How are
have to be our
you?
language or our bill, but if they adopt some of our language, that's a win. At the end of the day, no one cares whose bill it is as long as it gets done. But really, it would be very important for people to understand the laws in their state, and starting with the criminal code, looking at the penalties associated with each crime. But what I'm going to stress to people is that legislation is only one piece or one leg of this three-legged stool. Obviously, there's executive, legislative, and judicial. The problem that we're seeing is it doesn't matter at this point right now how much good legislation is being passed, because the judges are not issuing sentences according to the crime. We are seeing such violent offenders get released back out onto the streets. So we have the crimes on the books that are being ignored right now, and the penalties that are being ignored, and violent offenders that are roaming free on the streets. And so that's not to deter people from introducing legislation, but it can't just be a focus on, we need more laws on the books, because then you get law top heavy, but then you don't have people actually enforcing the laws and upholding the laws. So I would encourage people, and I don't know a good way to do this, but this is the beauty of X, is that I don't have to be the only one coming up with solution. We need a way to track how our prosecutors are prosecuting crimes. Many of them are elected. Our DAs are elected, or some of the positions are for judges are appointed, but some of them are elected. And understanding how these judges, how these district attorneys, how these prosecutors are, what kinds of crimes are they trying? What kinds of sentences are these judges ruling or issuing? And understanding that we actually have a lot more say in the judges that get put into power. I think that we need to start not shifting focus, but adding an additional focus on those individuals, because as we've seen with the lawfare with the judges, they play a very important role in how we're able to combat crime in a meaningful way. And again, if you have all these great laws on the books, it doesn't do you any good if a prosecutor says, well, that was just one child, bring me, I need 2, 3, or 10, bring me 10 and I'll prosecute a trafficking ring. Or give me, Brandy, how many times does in your work they want the package with a pretty little bow with very little work needing to be done on it because they want a guaranteed win on their court case? That is not how we encourage bravery in those positions. If they take the easy wins in the easy cases, then they might as well just be prosecuting traffic tickets all day long. Because honestly, when you're only focused on a win-loss record and you're not even looking at how tough the case was and how much effort and how severe the crime was that was committed, then we're not looking at the right um measures to be able to track someone's success. So I just wanted to echo that as an addition, that while we're looking at legislation and lawmakers that are effective or not, we also need to extend that to prosecutors, district attorneys, and judges.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. Go ahead, Project Milk Carton.
Yeah, so I got two things for you, Ali. One, where you just said that, and I don't know how much I could speak on this yet before Sparty's releases what he's working on, but where you just said that we needed those somewhere to come up with an ideal to somewhere to go to look for those case studies to against these judges and prosecutors and whatever. Hold their beer, or in my case, coffee, because I don't drink, because that's kind of something he's working on. And I don't want to go too deep into it. Like I said, he's going to launch this and when it's all up and ready. But one of the things I wanted to mention when you started talking about how you were, looking at laws and codes and such like that, how hard is it, for, and I know you have a degree in this, but how hard is it for an individual to go look up and find those laws? Because from what we learned early on, researching this, is it's not, a one-stop shop. You can go find this stuff. You have to go here to look at this and there to look at that. You got to know what you're looking for and where to find it, right? So it's kind of one of the other things we're aiming to do is put that all in one local place to be able to assist you in making that easier to find. This is kind of what I'm getting at.
Yeah, I've heard of some sites that have been able to compile legislation that relates to their projects. The challenge that I see with that, unless you can completely automate it with, I don't know, some sort of AI feature, is that there's so much legislation and new changes to the laws that are constantly being implemented that a database would need to have almost a very seamless process to update all of the information on a consistent basis. But the criminal codes themselves, I think what is helpful, and I'm not saying by any means this is like the only place you go, but I think there's been many helpful developments in AI to be able to help understand statutes and how they read. And like I said, it doesn't replace a paralegal or an attorney. I'm not saying go, get an AI chatbot and replace your attorney, because legal advice at the end of the day is invaluable. But not everyone, wants to reach out to an attorney or a paralegal when they're trying to understand legislation. So I would definitely encourage people to read it plain language first, and then start to utilize the tools that we have, like AI, to start to understand some of the language and kind of challenge AI on saying, okay, I'm reading this statute, it says this, what about XYZ? And kind of go back and forth. And that gives you a good, at least, basis to start to understand some of the challenges. One of the states that I was looking at when I was looking at their anti-grooming bills, they didn't really have one, but when I was looking at their child protection language, the way that they identified material to me was very interesting. And so I was trying to understand the circumstances in which the word material could be used. Like when you're saying something is material, in the terms of child abuse. I'm trying to I'm doing a horrible job of explaining it, but basically in this statute the definition material really changed the ability
Hi,
to
JJ
prosecute, because
RSVI.
I was trying to understand what would be material in the statute. And so I was actually utilizing AI to kind of go back and forth and challenge it and say, okay, well, if I was a prosecutor, how would I challenge this definition or this statute? If I was a defense attorney, how would I challenge it or go against this statute? So it really gives you kind of a 360-degree view, at least to start with understanding some of the statutes in your state.
So before we go over to Sparty, the reason I set up that laughy space, and sorry for using you as an interview style bait to get him to to jump in there. As soon as you said a keyword, his hand went up. So if you don't mind, I want to go over to Sparty. Sorry, I baited that.
Well, I don't. So I don't think Allie was in when we were explaining what we've created. So so we've taken all the laws for each state, and I mean all laws, administrative, executive, judicial, court outcomes and decisions and whatnot, and then we took all the outcome data, right? How many child deaths, how many foster care ins and outs, homelessness, murder rates, all of it. Then you add in the financing of the NGOs that are in that ecosystem or that decision chain process, and then it gives you a report leveraging all that. Like, here are the laws, here's the outcomes, and here's how much money is spent. And then you go, well, because it's broken, obviously. So we have to understand the system and understand where it's broken. Like you were saying, Allie, like, yeah, the laws are there, but who's enforcing them and who's making the decisions? Well, that gave me an idea. That's another database that's out there. So now I'm going to get it. And now we're going to have that as well on these, each stage. Actually, we already do. That's in court documents. So you can actually get that information. Anyways, my head's going bazillion miles. But anyway, so
Well, and
yeah, this program is going to leverage all that.
I'll add another piece to that, Sparty. So let's just say that a law enforcement officer charges somebody, and this is an actual real instance, charges someone with 10 counts of trafficking, child trafficking, but then they plead out to 2 counts of disorderly conduct. This actually happened. Then that actually impacts the statistics of the area, because then you say people are looking at, okay, well, how, what did they end up with? What charges did they end up with? And a lot of people use the charges that people end up with in their stats for their area. They're not looking at what these people were originally charged with. They're looking at what they end up with. And so it would be really fascinating to see that regardless of taking a plea deal, regardless of some of these other circumstances, what did people go in with and what did they come out with?
We could probably pull that data too. So I see this is the power of these kind of conversations, right? Productive conversations, because, as we get called the expert, this is our lane. We're not. We learn stuff new.
So what Ali is saying is it's a brilliant idea, because if someone was to be charged with 10 counts and they made a plea deal for something lesser, you never know what the total was that they were charged with. So being able to collate that data and put it all in one place so that you can actually look at a city and see what the actual numbers are in that area and what is the causation of that. Is it legislation? Is it law enforcement? Is it prosecution? What is allowing these people to get off like they are? So this is actually really, really brilliant.
every day, and this is how we do it, right? It's having these conversations because Allie may see something on her end that we don't, and Brandy sees something on her end that we don't. You know, uh, Sally may see something in Indiana that we don't. You know, and then we bring that together. And like I said, house that data, as Allie had stated earlier, bring it into one source to be able to look it up and boom, file out that report. The Smarty, I mean, we've got the FEC data too, right? So that it brings all this into one hub. So when I say one hub, it's exactly what we're doing.
Yeah, we have FEC data. We have APIs to court listener. We have usaspending.gov. We have all the IRS database for every NGO. We have every state's data as it relates to how they're administered, relating to CPS. We have all the CPS statistics for every state, and then each state's reporting requirements for child protective services for each state. Yeah, and then you'll get a report, and you'll have weak points, and you'll be able to see what's going on every aspect.
I do want to just put a thought in your mind, and it's definitely not something that probably can be or should be discussed tonight. But while I'm thinking on it, so Polaris used to manage the hotline for the human trafficking hotline, and now that contract is with Compass Connections. And I have heard from a trusted partner between Brandy and some of.
There we go. 1:14:47. We're making at least 15 minutes before it cuts out. I wonder when they're going to fix this issue. Uh-oh. There we go. For a sec, I did think it was going to play again. It's definitely an X issue. There's nothing I can do about it.
That area, because then you
individuals are
Christian Services Foundation port, and you'll have weak points, and you'll be able to see what's going on every aspect.
I do want to just put a thought in your mind, and it's definitely not something that probably can be or should be discussed tonight. But while I'm thinking on it, so Polaris used to manage the hotline for the human trafficking hotline, and now that contract is with Compass Connections. And I have heard from a trusted partner between Brandy and some of us in here that they now are managing that contract. And my understanding was that they managed a hotline under ORR as well. And that didn't turn out too well. So now they're managing the hotline for the National Human Trafficking Hotline. So I would be curious to know what you end up turning up with the findings of Compass Connections.
Well, we've already done that. I've got a lot of information on them. In fact, Compass Connections is BCSF. It's a huge ecosystem in Texas. Compass Connections is a small but massive entity of BCSF. And there are a bunch of other entities involved with them as well. So that's interesting. I did not know that Compass Connections got that contract, which is flipping horrible. It's horrible.
Yep.
That's a horrible. Well, we got to expose that. So
our mutual friend Boz was talking about this a couple months ago and was trying to raise the flag to Grassley. But yes, that was obviously made official the other day when Polaris put out a notice that they are no longer managing the contract for the hotline. It is now Compass Connections.
I have no words.
Neither do I.
that's like really
$0.
That's horrible. How did they do that? How did they do that?
This is the
Okay,
thing, man.
so wait a minute. That guy
All right, so I have to push pause for just a second because I don't know if you guys remember that during the Biden administration, there was a hotline that they had, and I think it was I don't want to get the number wrong. It was a high number. I wanted to say 65,000 calls had been reported by people that were not followed up on, and so they're talking about the hotline where missing children can call into, or this is the one thing that I hate about YouTube. I'm gonna have to refresh this anyway, but this is the one thing that I really dislike about YouTube is this fact right here is that I can't use the words I need to use to describe this, but that is essentially what they are talking about. 116. What is wrong with X spaces and the replay? I wonder if everyone, when they're doing replays, has this issue, or if it is just isolated to Brandy. Yeah.
It is up to.
And branding some of the statutes to the hotline.
That's okay.
It is now Compass Connections.
I have no words.
Neither do I.
That's like really
$0.
That's
Um,
horrible. How did they do that? How did they do that?
This is the
Okay,
thing, man. This
so
is,
so wait a minute. That guy that runs Compass Connection, Kevin.
All right, so I have to elaborate for just a second because they're asking why. It's because they're ran by nonprofit NGOs most of the time. And so why is this allowed to happen? Most of the time it's because they want to continue doing what they're doing and launder money back and forth through various NGOs or brother and sister companies. So you have a parent company and you have brother and sister. One is the big umbrella shell, and then which has a higher tax code. Then you have the brother and sister companies, which has a more lax tax code. So depending on how it's structured and how it is set up, will determine. Yeah. So what they often do is when one company gets busted for something, then what they'll do is they will go underground, or they will, they'll close down one building and then they will go to another city, maybe the same town. They'll open up a brand new location and give it a new name, then do everything all over again. Yeah, so that's that.
Kevin, can't remember his last name, starts with a D. That guy made $1.4 million in his salary. And that dude sits on a bunch of boards. So yeah, BCSF is a massive
Oh my goodness. Rar. I'm gonna have to test this out because I'm curious if this is with all spaces or if this is just synonymous to this particular one, because this is really annoying. That's okay. We're not going to listen to all of the space because they're going to spend some time saying goodbye to each other.
$1 million
And we won't listen to all
in his
that.
salary. And that dude sits on a bunch of boards. So yeah, BCSF is a massive
Oh my gosh. Is it the topic? I'm sure it might have something to do with the topic. We'll see because I can kind of fill in for what he's saying if it's not going to allow us to play. We'll try a couple more times. And if not, then let's see, $1 million
in his salary. And that dude sits on a bunch of boards. So yeah, BCSF is a massive that shouldn't be involved. So yeah, I mean, let's get involved.
Familiar with that acronym, Sparty? What is BCFS?
BCSF is, I gotta look that up too. Hang on, let me find it. I'll get it.
well, while you're doing that, I just want to say that this is the issue, right? This is the issue we've seen for the last decade, but especially the last 5 years. When the heat comes out on one organization, they move one out and another one in. And all of these all of these NGOs, they kind of self-police. They have a board that sits up top. I forget what it's called, RCC something. Sparty could probably tell you what that is too. And they cross-pollinate, right? So all of these board members, like BCFF, Lutheran.
They're not going to let us get through this. But guess what? So what he's saying is kind of like Big Pharma, how Big Pharma has that revolving door with the CDC, with NIH, with all those, they go work for the NIH, then they go work at the CDC, then they go work for some pharmaceutical company, and they kind of just take their information and they kind of just go in and out. So they do the exact same thing with these various NGOs that have to do with the foster care system, have to do with anything to do with the children coming across the border. So it's the same type of thing. So we're going to see where he gets to on this, but that's kind of what he's getting at right here. So he was just talking about a Christian charity, and they go through these various Christian charities, and they funnel back and forth between the various different ones. So you have the Lutheran, you have Highest, you have Christian, you have LDS. So it's not isolated to just one of these NGOs. It's they work together. They very much so work together. I'm gonna try not to have some dead air right here. Just give me 1 second. We're at 117 again. And it's that exact same spot that he keeps going out. As soon as he started explaining what that company was, that's weird. I'm not saying that it's the cause. It just sounds really weird that it is. All right, let's try this again.
And like you mentioned,
The 10 national.
Sparty, what is
this is the kind of self-police. They have a board that sits up top. I forget what it's called, RCC something. Sparty could probably tell you what that is too. And they cross-pollinate, right? So all of these board members, like BCFF, Lutheran Services, Catholic Services, they all sit on that board that oversees themselves. I mean, so it's just one. That's what I call a loop. I'm writing about this right now on our Substack using Epstein Transparency Act as a case study of how, once that act goes into place, this can expand out to show the systematic problem through all of these NGOs. Again, we've seen it happen with Southwest Keys. Right, they started taking hit on the what they were doing at the border, and they just moved them out, moved another one in. It's just it's a cycle, and they keep it flowing that way.
So-
They don't pay attention. This happens.
So BCSF is Bethany Christian Services. Bethany Christian Services Foundation. Bethany Christian Services, BCS, is plus Compass Connections are part of the same operational lineage. BCS is one of the 10 national NGOs for UAC placement and whatnot. They all have
And
different EIN numbers. Yeah. What's
Yeah, a lot of
interesting,
these
if you
are
go
in our
to Corporate
foster-
Wiki, and you type in Compass Connections, you'll see all the. Here, let me do that, and I'll post the picture, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Hang on.
Yeah, and I want to
All
point out too that these individuals are these organizations aren't just in ORR; they're also interdomestic with the foster care systems and so forth and so on. So again, there's that loop that if we're not paying attention, there's those 10 main that are just circling, one in, one out, one in, one out. Sorry, Brittany.
No worries. And y'all know best. I mean, y'all have dug on all of these entities, and I have no words to know that one of the entities that has been alleged in court records and all the things to have trafficked unaccompanied minors is possibly, and yes, I'm watching my words, in control of a hotline where trafficked individuals call in for help is gut-wrenching.
Am I
And
allowed to say
it's-
the name?
This is
Yeah, you can. I'm not.
Yeah,
I just,
like
blown.
yeah, the
My mind's
Bill
blown.
Melinda Gates Foundation. There's a bunch of them that are supposedly involved in this stuff. We have Lutheran Charities, we have LDS, we have all these different NGOs Personalis policy. And as soon as they discover one NGO, they go underground, or they rename themselves, relocate, and they just create another one. So they have this revolving door that is continuous. I would like to see an audit of all NGOs that have anything to do with the foster care system, with Office of Resettlement, when they're bringing these unaccompanied minor children. I would like every single one of them to have an audit all the way down to their little sister and brother companies, because that's how they funnel their money back and forth between politicians, between mayors, sheriffs, you name it. That's how this money is funneled around and around and around.
My audio sounds
Let
really
me add a
good.
little caveat to that too, because a lot of these are international. They're working under the UN. They write some of the laws for the UN. So now think of the USA tide that comes into that. I'm just saying, and like you mentioned, Bill Gates, Ford Foundation, George Soros, all of this comes full circle. I'm telling you, I am writing about this in the best possible way I can on our Substack right now, to release how this is a systematic failure, a loop that ties everything in. And you're right, Sally. There needs to be an audit, but that's not going to happen if we, the people, aren't coming together and calling for that. Because, like we just learned, they moved out Polaris and put in Compass Connections. It's remove one evil, enter another one, and it was right under our noses. You know what I'm saying? So we have to be aware of this and bring awareness to it. And again, like I said, what's 17th releases, the update on our website. I'm telling you guys, you're going to be able to go there and pull a report that's going to show you all of this.
Real quick, can I go real quick? My hand was up for like 10 minutes. Just real quick. I'll make it quick. Because before we get too off the topic of what Allie was talking about, and so when you go in, they have 10 trafficking charges and they plead down to something else. Is there a way that we could have legislation put, or we advocate somehow that even if they plead down to a lesser charge, that they still have to report what they were charged with, so that we can accurately, and because a plea is not, you're not pleading saying I'm innocent of all these other charges. I'm just saying that I just took this deal. So in essence, those are the charges brought forth. They probably could have proved those charges, but they decided not to. One, because, cost of court, whatever it is, and because they want the cycle to continue. But if they were reporting the numbers accurately, at least what the original charge was, what they pled down to, I think that would give us a better baseline. And I don't know if that's just too lofty of an idea, but I mean, that might help with our being able to track things more accurately.
Before you answer that, Allie, can I just say, have you looked into the Epstein Transparency Act? Because one of the things in there is that DAs can no longer offer a deal without consulting the victim first, or at least letting the victim know what's going on there. So have you looked into that? Because it's exactly what Sally's speaking of.
Yeah, I'll let Allie go. Go ahead, Allie.
I mean, consulting a victim first, a lot of times we know that how this goes is that they say, well, take the plea, they'll at least face something versus, the chance that they'll get off. And so we know how these conversations go. It's tough, but I would be curious. I think that it's public record. It just is a matter of our willingness to pull the information and have agencies that actually report on the information publicly include this as part of their numbers. I mean, they can fine, they can say this is the ending outcome, but I think that they should kind of show the steps, or at least in a footnote to say, 500 charges for trafficking, there were 200 that were sentenced with the charge of trafficking. It would be nice to see that equation. But they might not want to, because then it actually reflects poorly on a lot of these offices and a lot of these prosecutors. So I don't know. I mean, it's going to be down to our willingness and ability to pull the information and just put it out there and kind of force transparency.
It would be
So,
go ahead.
Sorry,
Okay,
Shelby.
y'all
No,
hurry
go
up,
ahead.
and then we do got a hand. I don't want Nathan's hand to fall off. Go PMC.
Well, I just want to say that from what I've really looked into, research that Transparency Act is it's going to make everything more public. They can no longer sweep it under the rug and hide it within the system. So, as I understand, going to the victim and say, well, he might get off if he does this and this, it still makes it public so we can hold accountability is the biggest thing that I see coming out of it. So, I mean, we have to, again, I'm still deep into this, and we're going to have to see what comes out with it on the 19th and how that plays out, and obviously not ignore it and hold them to that standard. But it's just what I'm seeing from looking into that Transparency Act myself.
Well, the Transparency Act is good on the surface, but are they going to follow through with it is going to be one thing. And just real quick, because I know Nathan has his hand up, I'll make this quick, is, so a DA is getting reelected. They're like, oh, well, this is a he said, she said, blah, 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 or whatever. So they don't prosecute it. They just sweep it under the rug. So, I mean, is it a problem with us actually electing certain positions shouldn't be elected? I mean, obviously we want prosecutors elected based off of their performance, but they're not going to prosecute cases because it's going to affect their numbers. I just feel like this part of the system is so broken. I don't know how to fix it. I'm open to do what I can in my local area, but I'm open to suggestions. I'm just throwing that out there.
All right, go ahead, Nathan.
Oh, we made it so far. Oh my goodness. We made it like almost 8 whole minutes without it resetting. Okay, Aaron, I figured some things out while we were doing this stream. So I can sync my 2 channels as I push reset on my Rodecaster Pro 2. So they're going through the same feeder instead of separate. So you'll have to let me know. I am testing out audio, guys. So Aaron's been helping me. I don't know how it sounds, but it's supposed to make it more even and balanced. So I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, I could skip past. I know what I said, but we'll just go.
Banning some of the statutes. What about XYZ?
Certain positions shouldn't be.
What did I say that's pissing you guys off? I'll repeat it. I don't need a space to tell me what I said. So pretty much, and I can skip past this part because this is me talking there. My question was, and this is my thought, is so you have a DA, and most DAs, from what I understand, are elected positions. So if they're elected positions, is there a process to where we can make it to where they're not elected? Because if it's an election year and they have big cases that are sensitive that come across their table, and I know this to be factual, this is not an assumption, they will be like, oh, well, it's an election year. I need to get reelected. I need to make sure my win-loss ratio is really good. So my thing with all of that is there a way for us to advocate? Is there laws that we could get passed to make sure that these prosecutors are not getting elected based off of their win-loss rate, but what they're actually trying to do in the community as far as prosecutions? I would rather elect someone that worked really hard to put someone behind bars than to be like, well, it's an election year and, well, I'm not going to take this risk because I love my job. I like my position in the community. So no, I'm not going to do anything about it. So that's where my head was going with that question. I'm just throwing it out there. So I'm going to skip past that part. I'm going to hit refresh again and we'll see if if we can get past where I was talking for whatever reason during that part. If it's gonna okay. This was the issues that I was having while I was live streaming, so it's just so much nicer because I can feel dead air here so much easier. Let's go try going to 129.
Yeah, you have to truly do the work, or are a new organization and they
Like,
or just different organizations too that might be involved in
Brady versus
in
Maryland. I'll have to
contributing
check
to the
that out,
problems that you're
Aaron.
trying to actually help. So just make sure you're vetting everyone to be, make sure they're who they say they are. And then Project Milk Carton a moment ago did share, we've only got 25 minutes. So I want to go ahead and say this. Project Milk Carton shared earlier, different things that you can do with them and how you can get involved and how you can use their website and all the things. So I did want to share for Shepherd's Watch Foundation. We are still looking for volunteers, but it is on a one-on-one basis. It is no longer where you can go find the application on our website. We want to make sure we're having a one-on-one discussion with you. So if you're looking to get involved and you want to get involved with Shepherd's Watch Foundation, please give me a DM. Let's chat on that. Also, if I'm not following you, then Brandy DMs are not open, but Shepherd's Watch is. The Shepherd's Watch profile is actually down below in the space right now. It's the girl and the wolf that's blue and white logo. If you'll just follow us over there, you can send us a DM and we can chat on it. But we do need more people involved. Project Milk Carton they were just sharing with us the things that they're doing that no one else is doing, right? Well, for Shepherd's Watch, not many people want to truly do the work or don't have the expertise to do the work that they need to do to hand over to law enforcement like we do. So these are the reasons we need people involved. We cannot do this alone. We all have our own niche and we all have areas that you can help us. One of the ways you can help any organization is just by retweeting or reposting the stuff that they put on their platforms. That is huge because that gets the word out. And education is the number one thing that we can do to protect all children. If you get educated, then you can educate your kids and your grandkids and your nieces and your nephews. And that's why we spend the time in these spaces. We do not sit in this space to hear ourselves talk. Like Stephen said, we are out and about doing the work and we need you to take the information we give you and pass on to others. So just wanted to put that out there. All right, Jamie, go ahead and then we'll go over to Miss Sally and then we'll go over to Michelle. Sorry,
Okay.
Michelle, but we got two co-hosts with hands up.
Oh, let me just expand upon that a little bit more. The checking the 990s and the 50,000, that's one of the reasons they're doing it. They're trying to stay under the radar. And that's another reason they're switching their names because they don't want to meet that 50,000 threshold. So they don't want anybody looking at them. So all they do is just change their name again. So these are all the things that we need out in the open. And it needs to be public knowledge. And that's why they're doing it, though, is to hide some more. So I'll just leave it at that. But I want people to realize another reason why they're doing it is to hide. All right. Sally, go ahead.
Yeah, so when you're talking about the New Americans program, that's actually started being pushed nationwide under the Obama administration. Every single city, every single state has a New Americans program. And what it is a way for, instead of an illegal alien coming, I'll speak to Utah because I know Utah stuff. So we have illegal aliens that are here in this country that are not legal. They are new Americans, right? So that's how they're able to get their driver's licenses. That's how they're able to get housing, daycare, all of the stuff that Americans should be getting. So that's what they call them, is new Americans. So look in your own cities and your own states and see what funding and what benefits they're getting. I mean, they go as far as providing lawyers for them. So so when you're saying New Americans program, that's what that encompasses.
Well, yeah, what I was looking into, I think it's 2-3 years ago, it's called the Office of the New Americans. Many states have them. They get them into school. They get pushed way ahead of the front of the line in front of everybody. They get given all kinds of grants. It's absurd. You will be disgusted when you start looking into it. I sure was. But yeah, and they have variations of the names, but you kind of want to start with Office of the New Americans, and they're just trying to give illegal people another name so that it takes the spotlight off of it and they turn into something else. Well, they're not. It's the same thing. So there you go.
All right. Well, I'm going to say real quick before we go over to Michelle, because I don't see any other hands, that I just have to say personally, it was really annoying to have to bring 15 different documents. Yes, I'm exaggerating a little, but to get another license or, Yeah, you have to literally prove everything as a United States citizen to go get your driver's license when you've already had one since you've been
Exactly.
16. And yeah, they have all the documents. So that's really annoying. I've had to do that 4 times with me and my child.
It is.
Well, my adult son, within the last 5 years, and it was not very easy. So I'm just going to leave that right there. All right, Miss Michelle, how are you tonight? Thank you for
I'm
coming
doing
in.
well. How are you guys? Of course. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'm doing well. I just kind of want to go back to the whole plea bargain and plea deal situation. So many of you know our story. And initially, when we went through all of this to get the teacher who groomed my son convicted, they were initially going to take a plea deal. After 3 years, I have to tell you, as the parent of the victim, and we were essentially victims as well, like, where was our due process in that whole situation, right? We're supposed to be given a jury of our peers. Nobody seems to worry about that as far as the victim goes. So that's where my frustration comes in with this whole thing. And part of what we're working on is a bill called Andrews Law here in Illinois, which would amend the current sex offender registry to make it so that there be no plea bargains for anybody charged with grooming or trafficking of children. So right now, it's been sitting in committee for 2 years in Illinois. Stand down and not call it for a vote. My question is why, right? Which tells me that somebody on the inside is most likely involved. Our governor, as you all know, in Illinois is J.B. Pritzker, and his family is involved in this. Like, his cousin Tom Pritzker is in Jeffrey Epstein's black book, under 13 different phone numbers. So that is my frustration, is, as Allie said earlier, you have these people who would have, 9 trafficking charges and they plead down to essentially nothing.
Oh, we lost you, Michelle. There you are. You're breaking up for us.
Here, we can just
completely
fast forward through this
Bill,
part.
I'm sorry for.
So, and convicted of that,
There
ends
we
up
go.
taking that to the appeals court, gets that actually taken off his record. I mean, he literally solicited him for sex, and that gets taken off the record, even though he was convicted of that.
Yep, we lost her completely.
Did we lose her?
Yep.
Tucker, how are you tonight, sir?
Well, I'm up to 14 pages on a report that I'm writing, but hey, you know what it's like for me. When it comes to plea deals, legislation, all that, it's truly in how much leeway is a prosecutor given, how much leeway is a judge given in sentencing. So, my heart goes out to anybody that is dealing, with, victims who are, not receiving any form of justice that they're looking for, but everything that is done is written into the law. So truly, if you want to see legislation, see these plea deals go away, see these sentences become much more harsher, than where we need to be lobbying legislators, the lawmakers, is to mandatory sentencing, limiting plea negotiations for certain charges. If they're charged with grooming, then possibly the lowest possible charge reduction would be solicitation. But start going to the lawmakers and saying, hey, why aren't we doing this? You have, why are, I mean, just from things that I see in the field is we aren't holding hotels to a standard where, hey, whether this is going on or not, uh, you're liable for it. You're liable for the trafficking group that is, pimping people out of your motel, out of your hotel.
I don't know who's
And
talking.
once we start making that more and more punitive to the people providing the playground, we're not going to see it. We're not going to see a reduction in that happening. Now, on the other side of this, law enforcement, I tell people this all the time because you may hear about a human trafficking task force, and that task force may be 2 detectives in 2 separate counties on opposite sides of a state. But because there's more than one investigator working on it, it's a task force. It's not well funded. It's not really expected to do anything. So what it comes down to it is educating the people, and those of you who have heard me talk about this before, go to the National SAR Initiative and start learning what to look for and where to report it, how to report it. 9/11 gave us a beautiful, beautiful system of information sharing in the fusion centers. For those that don't know what the fusion centers are, the fusion centers were set up post 9/11 to coordinate intelligence gathering and dissemination among law enforcement and different government agencies, including the FBI, the Department of Homeland Security, the CIA, the NSA, state police, local police, county sheriffs, county police departments. Every one of those agencies can draw intelligence from those suspicious activity reports. Learn how to do it. Learn what to report, how to report it, and where to report it to. Brandy, do you still have those links that I have shared with you in the past?
Yes, it is actually already up in the nest above us, guys, and it's down below. And the one he is talking about begins with learn what to report and how to protect your community. And it was posted up top. It's the second one from the right. That is what he's talking about, and it's definitely important. We can talk all day long about reporting, right? But if you don't know what to report, you don't know what to report. Thank you for sharing that link, Night Stalker.
I'm actually going to see if I can't get that link. I wonder if it's up top.
Yes.
We can do a stream on that.
So truly, when we educate ourselves and then educate our friends, family, communities on this, we're going to start flooding, hopefully it will flood, information into the fusion centers, to where then it's not about, getting the pretty bow, having to wrap everything in a nice pretty bow for a detective, and giving, and I have come head on, fighting mad with the human trafficking hotline, because they pretty much they'll only take actionable data. They won't take a suspicious activity report. They want actionable data and actionable data only. So you basically have to say, well, I saw this person solicit a 14-year-old child to perform this sexual act. Or you stated the day and night.
I'm skipping him for a second.
That is something that gets reported as suspicious activity. So knowing what to look for, knowing what to report, but even more importantly, learning how to report it. Because when you do a suspicious activity report, you're not calling your local police department or your local sheriff's department or you're not calling law enforcement. You're actually going to a fusion center site and you are providing who, what, when, where, why, and how. And then that information is disseminated and can be used in prosecution down the road. So anyway, I haven't been here for a while. I just wanted to jump on and say hi to everybody. I actually got to jump off here and finish what is probably going to turn into a 30-page report for a fusion center. But love y'all. I will talk to y'all later.
So that is Night Stalker on
Thank you,
X.
Night Stalker,
Just so
so
you guys
very
know.
much. Your information is phenomenal. Love to hear it.
I should have
Thank
been
you,
zooming
thank
in
you,
on
thank
these
you.
people for you guys.
We only have 7 minutes, but I want to make sure Miss Michelle gets to finish what she wanted to share with us. Let's check your audio, Michelle. Are you good?
We'll see. Is that any better?
Yes.
Okay.
Go before it changes.
Right. So anyway, I was just saying, like, what we're trying to do here in Illinois is amend the current grooming law to make it so that there is no plea bargains for anybody charged with grooming and or trafficking. And also expanding the sex offender registry to be lifelong for somebody who is convicted of grooming, and also to include places of businesses on the registry that are privately owned. And for whatever reason, they're being told to stand down and not call it for a vote to get it out of committee. It's been in committee for 2 years. And when I questioned who asked for it to not be called for a vote, I was told that it was most likely J.B. Pritzker or as the Speaker of the House. So the Pritzker family, as we know, they're involved in this with his cousin Tom Pritzker with Hyatt Hotels. So I guess my frustration comes in with the whole plea bargain thing. I mean, from some statistics I read, 90 to 95% of all cases in the United States are handled with a plea deal. It just seems very wrong to me when the Constitution states that we are allowed to have a jury of our peers. So that's where my fight is right now. And because of this, so something I was trying to think out of the box here a little bit to try to get them to call this for a vote. I am trying to go to different counties here in Illinois to get a resolution signed so that those counties get behind Andrew's law and try to push it for a vote out of Springfield. So I'm starting here with our county in Grundy County, where we live, and meeting with the state's attorney this coming Thursday. But his big objection to this is the no plea bargains. And again, because he's a judge or he's an attorney, like that's where he lies, right? Like he thinks it's unconstitutional to not offer a plea bargain, even though he can't tell me in the Constitution where you're allowed to take a plea bargain. So that's my frustration, and I'm trying to still go to all 50 states to try to get a grooming law put in place, and worked with Allie on that in Florida and Iowa, and Arizona soon fell after that too. And so now, right now, we have Florida, Iowa, Arizona, Georgia.
Okay, so she's talking about the various different states that have implemented Andrew's Law. I'm gonna just tell you what it is. So Andrew's Law, as a new legislative effort on behalf of confidential informants is named, requires police to provide confidential informants with certain information before, hold on, let me see. Let me get the rest of this. Ever since their son's life was taken, Tammy and John Sadek have been dedicated to helping ensure the tragedy that claimed the life of their son does not occur to any other families in North Dakota. In 2014, their son, Andrew, was working with law enforcement as a confidential drug informant when he was found in a river at the full of rocks attached to his body. Andrew had never been in any illegal trouble, yet he was told by law enforcement that he was going to be charged with delivery of marijuana and facing up to 40 years in prison for selling $80 of pot to another informant, unless he agreed to act as a CI himself. Andrew was told not to talk to anyone and that if he didn't do CI work, his life would be ruined. Andrew was not made aware of the risks of being confidential informants, and thus the family and their attorneys sprung into action lobbying the legislature for change. So, Andrew's Law is a new legislative effort on behalf of confidential informants is named, requires police to provide confidential informants with certain information before utilizing them for undercover operations. So that is what she is kind of talking about right here. Yeah, confidential informants, I don't know, because I think that confidential informants do have their place. I don't think that they should be able to entrap them like that. So say, oh, you know, you're going to go to prison for 20 years unless you help us get information on this thing. Absolutely, I think that that should not be allowed. However, someone just has an in and they have information and they want to be a confidential informant. I think that that should be allowed. Yeah, so I hadn't really looked into, oh, you've seen it firsthand. Yeah, I haven't never looked into Andrew's Law, and I'm glad I read that. And welcome, Luda. Welcome back. And Zane, that would be a Christmas miracle for sure. Guys, I do want to thank all of you who are up listening late. So a lot of times when we are doing this particular space, audio cuts out a lot. There's all kinds of issues. And so I've decided that after their space ends, I'm going to go directly into a live stream. So it would be not at midnight my time. It would be closer to 8 p.m. But like I said, I was working with audio issues. Hopefully they're fixed now. It on my end, it sounds good through my earpiece, but who knows? So you guys will have to let me know. But so I'm gonna get onto a regular streaming schedule. Tuesdays will be anti-trafficking. And plus I'll also be able to listen to the space prior so that when I stream, I know where I have to bleep out certain information. Tomorrow night, before we're just about done, I'm gonna let her finish. Tomorrow night, I am gonna go through. I've got a bunch of stuff bookmarked. I was gonna do this tonight, but this space is. I've dedicated my time to doing this space every Tuesday night. I volunteered to do it. I asked if I could live stream it to reach a broader audience because I want this information to get out there. I want to make our communities safe. But so tomorrow night, I'm going to go over the J6 bomber arrest. So that is going to be my thing tomorrow night. I'm going to bring both sides of the argument. I'm going to bring the one that names Kirchhoff. Is it Kirchhoff? Shawnee Kirchhoff. I'm going to go over all of Steve Baker's stuff. I'm going to go over stuff that Kyle Seraphin said. And then I'm going to give you the opposing views of that. And then you guys can make up your own decision of where you think things are headed. So hopefully I'm excited to get back to live streaming. This is what I used to live stream 6 nights a week. So we're going to get back to this kind of format. Still going to do X Spaces. However, this is a lot more. I have a lot of information in my head. And if I can't get a speaker, I can't get a microphone, or people are trying to argue, I can't get it out. What time tomorrow night am I planning to start? I'm thinking that it's going to be between 8 p.m. Eastern and 9 p.m. No, sorry, Mountain Time. So between 10 and 11 Eastern Time is my goal. If I could start earlier, I mean, I would love to start at 7 o'clock. I just feel like that would be, you know what? No. Let's see, 10. I'm going to start no later than 10. You know what? I'm going to make a post. So just look for it. I don't know do you follow me on X, Aaron? If not, follow me back on there now, and I'll follow you back, and you can send me a DM. But I'll send out a notification tomorrow when I wake up. I'll have a better idea because I think it's going to be good. So, guys, make sure you're following me on Rumble, YouTube, and X. I also have a Locals and a TikTok. They are all Talk with Sally. I've made it consistent across the board, so it's easy for you to find me. You can subscribe to me for $4 on X, $5 on Rumble, and $5 on Locals. So you can pick your poison of where you want to. If you want to support me, you can. Sharing, liking, commenting is always really helpful. Pin it to your page. I can pin it to my page. I'll make sure you get it, because if I pin it to my page, then when I go live, then it's gonna get buried. So normally I would pin a live stream. Tonight I didn't. I didn't think about it. So tomorrow night, I'll get it out there, guys. It's for sure gonna happen tomorrow. I've already got it planned out. It's going to happen. Anyway, I'm gonna let her finish. They're just about done, but I did want to tell you guys thank you, and I do appreciate you guys. And what is it? It's 4:30 on the East Coast. It's 2:30 my time. I actually like these late night streams. People are, working the graveyard, and this information is, it's not for the faint of heart. So anyway, with that being said, let's let her finish out. Hopefully, it looks like I have to refresh again. Hopefully not. Let's see. Yes, I do. Dang it, I knew that was going to happen. This is an issue. I should just try to record it myself, and then I could splice it together, and then it's just seamless. We don't have to deal with this. But we're getting the information out there, and that is the most important part. And the whole entire point of this whole entire thing, guys, is just to get involved at a local level and do our part that way. Let's see.
Registration.
Say New Americans program.
And
To know for the entire country is Montana's grooming law. And if a 16-year-old is groomed by somebody who's 18 years old or older, down to 13 years old, it's 4 to 100 years in prison. And if it's a 12-year-old who's being groomed by someone who's 18 years of age and older, it is 100 years in prison with no chance of parole for the first 25. And if they get out at 25 years, it's a lifelong satellite surveillance. So that needs to be model legislation. I actually wrote a bill for the federal grooming law, because right now there is a federal grooming charge, but it's an adjunct charge. You have to be charged with something else in order for the grooming charge to take effect. And so there is a representative out of Indiana, Erin Houchin, who is willing to sponsor that bill. And she asked if I could write a bill to that effect, and I modeled it after the Montana law. So right now it's in their hands. So just praying that that becomes law at the federal level as well. But so those are some of the things that I've been working on. But I appreciate you guys having these spaces. I haven't been on here in a while. But I do appreciate this. And I if people can follow, I'm trying to get John Rich, I'm trying to get his attention right now. He's been talking about grooming here over the last month. And if I can get his attention and try to have him help me, we might be able to push this out a little bit quicker across the entire country using, his voice to try to do that. So I did post it in the chat. So hopefully if you guys could go in and just like and share that, maybe we can garner some more attention.
Arg, there goes 154. I just want to we're going to, so I think that there's a second Andrews Law. I'm going to have to look and see, because I think maybe they're connected, but it kind of sounds like they're two separate. But this is what Shepherd's Watch Foundation, this is the whole entire goal. Like, there's a bunch of people that have their own niche. Like, for me, getting information out is my strong suit. Some of them is writing legislation. Some of it's going out and doing private investigative work. So everyone has their niche in here. And so we all come together on Tuesday nights, and we just kind of talk and brainstorm about how we can get involved in our own communities. It's not about just talking. People are actually doing the work in here, which is what I freaking absolutely love.
It just seems very wrong.
Oh, one more time on that bill, name, number. There's two of us in here in Indiana. We need that.
Okay, so right now, we do have a current grooming law in Illinois. I'm actually working with a senator in Indiana Senator Dan Durnell out of Northwest Indiana. He is putting the grooming bill through, but he tried to put it through last year as a misdemeanor, and I lit him up. Like, what are you doing? You are in a supermajority state. Why are you putting through a grooming bill as a misdemeanor? So I sent him the Montana law and I said, you need to model it after this. And I was trying to help him push that forward, but it is coming in Indiana. There should be a bill going through from Senator Dan Durnell.
Is
But
did she already
if you
say
go
this,
on my
Dawn?
website, it's just my name, michellepeterson.org. And I'm revamping the website, so it's a little discombobulated right now. But if you go under the tab that says Andrew's Law, I have all of the states that have all of the grooming laws in place currently. And I also have the draft bill for the federal, and then the Montana bill is on there as well. So you can go to that area, but I would call your reps and senators in Indiana and have them back this bill that Senator Dan Durnell is going to be putting forward.
Okay, great. Thank you
You're
very
welcome.
much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I want Allie to do her theme.
I'm going to take this opportunity since we're running out of time right now. Everybody, there's a lot of information we've discussed tonight, so please remember that you can share this off this app. You can text message it, you can messenger to whomever you want. So if you know somebody that might be willing to get involved and help and be part of We the People, send it to them, please. Get everybody informed. And I'll leave it at that. Because I know what Jeremiah's going to say, right? All right.
Reach one, teach one.
Reach one, teach one.
Yep. All right. It is 9 o'clock, and we like to make sure we respect everyone's time. So I am going to go through the speakers real quick. I want to say thank you again. Tenfold, I don't even think, did we even hear from you today? I think we heard from you once. Thank you for coming in tonight, brother. I know you've been busy too, building your own systems back there. So, yeah, we got a lot of techie people in here, that's for sure. And thank you, Michelle, for coming in. Zach, I do want to give Allie a moment. Allie, what do y'all have going on? Please give us some last words. Where can we be finding you? What can we do? She's like, you didn't tell me I needed to
She's
talk
busy.
again. Running
No,
to her
I'm
phone.
yeah, I'm actually here. So, yeah, it is late on God's time, East Coast time. But thank you so much, Brandy, for having the space. What Guard Against Trafficking is doing right now is we are developing our volunteer program. So this has been our first year in existence, and it's been an amazing year. What we talked about a couple weeks ago was that some of these organizations doing the work, we struggle to put out what our accomplishments have been, because we're so busy moving on to the next thing. But what's really important for people to understand is what we've actually been able to accomplish with the people that have stood by us and supported us, because they want to see and know, the wins that we see. And so we're revamping, or we're implementing a volunteer structure for Guard Against Trafficking, and we're also working on a more solid messaging structure to be able to update people on things like Tuesday we had a online hour-long training on human trafficking with Purdue Global, and they had almost 200 people that were there actively listening. And that's 200 more people that are aware of the issue. And these are the things that, whether it's one person, and Jeremiah says reach one, teach one. Now, we just reached almost 200 people in one evening. And that might not seem like a lot, but every single person that we reach and touch on this issue that learns about it for the first time, and that we've reached not only their minds but their hearts, we are creating warriors in this fight, and we are setting forth a structure where people are aware and they're informed and they're actually looking for more information. And so these are the things where we have to, going into this next year, figure out how do we bring people along for the ride. And so that's what GUARD is working on, figuring that out as we ramp up a volunteer structure. So I just wanted to mention that. Look forward to giving you guys updates as we move ahead. And again, thank you, Brandy and Jeremiah 17th, for the work that you guys do at Project Milk Carton. We need to bring those milk cartons back. I don't know, maybe put them on postcards or something, but people need to start seeing these faces on a daily basis. So let's figure out how we can kind of get this in front of people. I'd rather see more children that I should be on the lookout for than all those stupid campaign flyers that I get in the mail. So I don't know. Maybe the partnership is with campaign people that they say a portion of their postcard is going to be dedicated towards getting out the face of a missing child. I would do that if I was running for office. I'd say, yeah, leave a portion of the postcard available for missing children. So yeah, that's all I got. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And that is exactly how amazing ideas are born. I love it. I love it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And this shows why we do these spaces, right? Because the ideas start coming, people's heads get together, and before you know it, poof, there's a solution. Everyone knows when they come in this space, we're not just going to tell you and gripe about the problem and tell you what the problem is. We're going to give you solutions. That sets us apart from most other spaces when it comes to the trafficking issue. So just want to say that, and thank you all for coming in tonight. Allie, thank you. I'm not shutting down. I haven't forgot. I just want to say thank you to everybody that's came in, because I've
When
seen
she gets to
quite a
me,
few
I'm
different
fast
profiles
forwarding
come in
because
that
I
aren't
already went through all my
regulars, and
stuff.
I just want to thank everyone, because it takes all of us to make these spaces successful. And one thing I really got excited about when you said 200 people earlier, because you're right, that's typically what it says by the time we're gone. There's been over 200 come through. You
Yep.
know, right now we've got 37 in here, and we actually got 25 retweets. So that's awesome. I want to thank everyone that participates in that, because you are what makes this space, speaking or not speaking. All of us makes this space happen. So thank you for that. Let's see. I want to go over to Sparty real quick. Sparty, don't get on a roll. We're 6 minutes over, but please share some last words real quick. And thank you for making time for us, because you're always working everything you can do. And I just want to thank you for it.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it. Thanks, guys, and just keep pushing. I'm excited to get this new platform out to you guys. So, thank you guys for coming and being persistent with this issue. It's one of the things that we need is persistency. Also, Jeremiah, if you got time after, if not, that's all right. But anyways, thanks, guys, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
I'm giggling over here because I'm going on to an organizational call as soon as we get off here too. So yeah, the work does not stop for any of us that are up here on this on these microphones. It's like I'll see most of these people in a space in a couple hours after I get off that call. I'll see them in a space doing something. Too funny. Thank you, Sally, so very much for always supporting the space and airing the space. And y'all make sure you're following Sally, especially on Rumble as well. Because she takes these spaces and she airs them out, and you can air it out. That sounds kind of funny. She airs them to her audience. Kudos.
And look group.
I promise Jeremiah will never let that happen again. He will invoke his privileges if that ever happens again. Oh, thank you, Sally.
I'd like to see some electronic billboards on a daily basis in each area, each state, with missing children, as it is. I mean, we all have talked about that. At the rate that it happens, our phones should be going off all the times with alerts about children, and they're not. That's absurd. It's ridiculous. It's unacceptable, and it needs to change. And again, I'd like to see electronic billboards. And let's get these kids' faces really out there, because you know that the average citizen is not seeing this stuff, and we need everybody to see it. And I think I just inspired Sally to say something else. So I'm just going to leave it with God bless you all. Thank you for coming in here. There is a Thursday morning space. Please follow Project Milk Carton and Shepherd's Watch Foundation. Thank you.
Just real quick, Brandy. I just, while we were on this call, just checked, make sure that that did
Shadow ban, Sally.
this week.
See, this is
My Ansgar_3 Jeremiah Bullfrog account anymore because it goes absolutely nowhere. But yeah, whatever. So
Whatever.
I want to say this, Allie. I have a lot of respect for you for going on Purdue Global. I actually did a semester at Purdue Global with my for my bachelor's, and I actually left because they are very left leaning. So reaching 200 people and that school is powerful. But I tell you, I went to Wesleyan University, and it's not much better. But anyways, kudos to you for spreading the word in that field because it's definitely where it needs.
Well, there it went. Okay. We're going to end it there for tonight just because I'm tired. She's just going to wrap up. Guys, make sure if you are someone who has the extra means and you would like to support Shepherd's Watch Foundation, you can go to shepherdswatchfoundation.org. You can click on, you can donate monthly, you can give one-time donations, you can give $1. And I mean, you can kind of decide how much you want to give, how much you want to donate. Before I ever offered to live stream their streams for them, I vetted them. I didn't just vet them online. I asked around and I checked into their reputation to make sure that they were legit. And the fact that they do not take government money because they want to make sure that these kids get found says a lot about their organization and how they conduct themselves. They don't talk about faith a lot, but they're very faith-based. And it's not like, I mean, they have faith-based. It's not like, oh, you have to be Christian or whatnot, but they're very, I mean, when you talk about these type of things and they see what you see, in order for there to be so much evil in the world, there has to be the opposite, right? At least, I mean, that helps us to sleep better at night. At least I do. So I have vetted them. I spent probably 3 months before I said, hey, I would love to live stream your spaces. I don't ask them for any money from it. And I'm not telling you guys to give me money. This is just one way that I can give back and try to help amplify their message and try to get this information out there because it is such important information. So if you do have the means, you can go support them, or you can just follow them on X and share out their information and their content as they put it out. They are very focused on the kids, and it's not just boys. It's not just girls. It's not just girls. We always think that it's just young kids, but it goes all the way up to adults, and no one takes the time to realize that it's not just the kids. And that's just what they specialize in. They are really good at what they do. I can't tell you how they do it, why they do it. That's all tradecraft. I will never share tradecraft. Our goal is just to educate and to teach everyone how to spot what's going on. So Tuesday nights, I'm going to plan on, as soon as their space ends, to get right into a live stream. So we'll have it all set up where we can just go full blown into it. Aaron, is my microphone better since you were, the one helping me earlier with it? I figured out how to sync them on one channel. So I don't know if it's it sounds like it's Essie. I don't know if I need to turn down my gain or whatnot. But before I go, I want you to let me know that it's all working good. Yes, absolutely. I figured it out. Do you know how many videos I watched? I watched so many videos. Well, okay. So my microphone's on one channel, my computer's on another channel, and I was controlling them separately. So then you have two feeds going into your computer. So when I speak and I have audio going, I'm taking from one feed, right? But there's a way that you can lock those two together so that they're on one channel. So it moderates the volume for you to keep everything balanced. And since May, I've been trying to figure this out. I've watched so many videos, asked so many people. No one had a clue how to help me. And tonight I was just here and I'm listening to this space. I'm like, I'm just going to try a couple of things. Well, I've got a small audience. Let's just see what happens. And thank you, Zane. Thank you for being here tonight. You're absolutely amazing. Your support really does mean a lot for me. Every single person that subscribes to me on X, I go into that chat and I know I'm not in there all the time, but it just really just feels like it makes me feel loved. It really just makes me feel loved. And it sounds so stupid, but it's the truth. But I'm getting everything organized here, which is great because now I can be live streaming all the time. Steven, thank you always for supporting. I freaking love you guys. Make sure if you guys are on X and you're seeing each other in the chat, follow each other. Let's boost each other. Let's try to help each other grow. But if you guys have any topics that you're interested in, whether it's something I need to research or it's something that I've already researched and you want a topic, I want to do the shows that I'm interested in too. So if you give me a topic, I'm like, that's boring. I'm not going to do it. Then I probably won't. But if you have ideas or things that you want to talk about, let me know. I probably once a week going to start doing a reaction video. So find someone that, I used to do Tucker all the time and I still listen to Tucker. I don't care what anyone says. I listen to Candace. I listen to Tucker. I listen to Fuentes. I listen to Tim Pool. I listen to everything because in all of the lies, there's a little bit of truth. And my goal is to figure out what the truth is, to do the research and bring that information and share with people because we need to come together. And this whole dick measuring contest that everyone is having, all these creators that are out there saying, I'm better, I'm this, I'm that. Like, I'm really kind of over it. I don't know why I had that thing up for so long. I'm over it. I'm done with the fighting. I'm done with people trying to tear each other down. I'm ready for us to figure out, I'm never going to align with the left ideology. It's never going to happen. I'm way further right than MAGA is. Like, I am way further to the right. And I wasn't until I discovered trafficking, until you won't mention Candace, but until I understood, I didn't know. I've always been independent. I always was up and down. I was never right or left. But knowing what I know about the border, about the kids, just with the judges and all of those various things, it's made me go way further to the right. So when they're like, oh, you don't support this, then you're not MAGA enough. I'm sorry. Don't put me in a box, because if you put me in a box, I'm going to do the opposite of whatever it is because you're trying to put me in a box. I'm tired of it. And I bet a lot of you are tired of it as well. There is a lot, we agree on a lot more things than we don't, but my mindset's never going to change. There's always going to be a man. There's always going to be a woman. Like, that's never changing. No amount of trying to give me some different point of view is going to change how I feel about that. That's always going to be a reality. I'm always going to think that illegal aliens need to go back to Mexico. They need to go right back to where they were because they're draining our resources. They're draining our medical system, our food, our housing. Everything is out of chaos, is like out of sorts. So you can't change those two things. You can't change my mind on. And me and my daughter fight about this. Like, it is the whole border and me wanting illegals deported has been the number one issue in our relationship, which is so sad because she's so smart and she's going to get it. She's going to understand it. Yeah, you can't put me in a corner, David. There's like, I'm very quiet because I think a lot. Like, if you see me in spaces, when I'm having fun, that's different. But when I'm in a serious space, I listen more than I speak because I'm trying to learn and trying to take everything in such a way that I can explain it to other people. Because some people try to use such big words trying to make themselves seem so smart and so this. And all you're doing is confusing people. Like, what is the point? Are you trying to teach? You trying to be right? Or are you trying to understand? Can you do all of those all at once? Which I think that you can. And yeah, Erin, she's so smart. She is smart and she's kind, and she blames Trump because she is on TikTok, she's on Instagram, and that everything is a 24-hour news cycle in 60-second clips. Like that's the whole way it's designed to be. And she'll figure it out, and she'll realize that I wasn't, because if you don't, that's inhumane. You really think that way? Like, she sent me a video after Charlie Kirk was assassinated, and it was the leftist talking points of how could you just care about this one person when there's kids in Gaza dying, or you've got people in Ukraine dying, and why are we just concerned with this one person? It's like, how separated from reality are you to not see that I can have compassion for someone and still realize that I have to put my own oxygen mask on first. And the United States needs to put its oxygen mask on. We are at a tipping point. We're either going to figure it out, or this republic is gone. We have a year and a half, maybe 2 years. I guess the primaries are next year. Really, we have a year, and it's going to tell us a lot. And we better put our oxygen mask on. We better start taking care of the United States. We better start getting involved at the community level. And I don't mean like go be a poll watcher or whatever. I mean, get out in your community. Yeah, you can volunteer to be a poll watcher, but getting out and reach one, teach one, become part of the government. Meaning, go be a college teacher, go be a substitute teacher at your local school, go be a lunchroom hall monitor, or go work at the city council's office, or any way that you don't have to be a senator, you don't have to be a mayor, but you can find little things that you can do to where we become the government. Because the only way we take back this country is if we become the government like the Democrats did. They infiltrated our churches, they infiltrated our schools, then they gradually worked their way up to mayor, then city council, whatever the hierarchy is, right? Even a garbage truck guy, you're out there, you're in the community, you're interacting with people. I'm not on the I hate Trump train. I'm just not there. I am someone that can, because I voted for Biden in 2020. So you're going to look at me because I bought all the bull crap. I bought all of the lies, hook, line, and sinker. And because I didn't watch the news, I was raising kids. And when I had time to get educated, when I had time to do research and to understand the whole pandemic and understand everything, and then I'm like, I got lied to. January 6th, when I saw footage that day, I was like, I got duped. I knew that day we got duped. And then we had Nord Stream pipeline. That happened. Then we had them cutting off the pipeline to Canada. That happened. And then we had, the Russia, Ukraine. That happened, right? So all these little things that first year got me thinking like something is off. And so I got educated and I'm able to change my mind. So Trump has never been like, oh my gosh, he's the savior. He's going to save us all. Never thought that way. I cared about the border. I cared about finding the kids. Getting justice for the Epstein clients was really important to me. And pardoning the J6ers. I mean, there's a lot that still needs to be done. There's a lot that needs to be done, but him pardoning all those people involved with January 6th that were entrapped, that was one really good thing that he did that people don't talk about a lot. So he has a lot of things to do. I don't like the people that he has in place right now. There's a lot of people I disagree with. I'm not giving him a pass. Backpacks. Yeah, definitely. So there was Antifa there. Absolutely, there was Antifa. There also was feds. There was also, if you understand Operation Gladio, which I haven't talked about in forever, I'm half tempted to redo that whole entire series. You understand that they infiltrate both sides, and it's the strategies of tension. They're always creating this strategy of tension to where we're always fighting white versus black, Republican versus Democrat. It's always designed to be set up this way. And the only way we get out of it is for us to stop fighting over the stupid shit and start focusing on things where we can actually make a difference. That's why you don't see me weighing in on the Candace Owens stuff, or you don't see me weighing in on certain topics, because how am I going to move the needle? I have my opinions, but I'm not going to move the needle. So I can't focus my energy on that. So this is why I'm getting back to doing my live streams. So if you guys have topics that you're interested in, and even if it requires me reading a book and doing research, I love that part of doing live streams. So bring them to me. I just went on a total rant. So thank you guys. You're awesome. I appreciate this. This was a really fun late night space. It was so chill. Monday night, I just played chess till 4:30 in the morning. And I might do some just pop up. I'm bored. I'm going to start a live stream and play chess. You can ask me anything and we will chit chat. I would talk for more, but I want you guys to know a little bit of where I am politically. I'm just me. I'm just me that sees a problem that needs to be fixed. And for me, number one is the children. Like that is my thing. And I will sacrifice everything for that purpose. Like I'll sacrifice time. I don't have a lot of money, but I sure as hell have a lot of time, and I'm willing to give my time for it. And I'm not really good at sharing who I am, but I'm going to be doing better with it. I've always how is someone going to use that against me to hurt me? I just don't think anyone can hurt me anymore. I think I've been to the worst of it. So with that, I don't know. I really think that we need to focus on, I want the podcast to be fun. Like these are going to be fun. The live streams are going to be fun. And I'm going to talk about things that I'm interested in. And a year ago when I was, kind of didn't stream as much, I think I was scared to have my opinion. I was scared to say what I thought because, oh my gosh, I'm going to get canceled. I just barely started, all that stuff. I don't care anymore. I have my opinions, but mostly I just love people. And I think that we can do a lot of good stuff and we can have a lot of fun. All right, I'm going to ramble forever. So with that being said, guys, make sure that you're liking the live stream on Rumble, X, and on YouTube. I didn't get it taken down. It still says green. Holy cow. This is like a first. I was getting kind of nervous with a couple words in there. So I'm excited to be back on YouTube as well. I originally started over there with garden and coin videos. Yay, that was my passion. So like it on all those platforms. I'm on Locals, Rumble. Oh my gosh, there's too many to count. So I'm on Locals, Rumble, YouTube, X, and TikTok. So you can follow me in any of those places. They are all Talk with Sally, not Talk with Sally. So follow me over there, share my stuff, like my stuff if you like it. If not, give me a comment so that I can be like, okay, cool. Anyway, with that being said, there's only two things in this life that we can control, and it's our attitude and it's our effort. That's it. It's all we can control. So work hard, smile, kindness is free. And this is Talk with Sally signing out.